What's up, Hardik? You only play turbos most nowadays. Damn. That's fair, that's fair. I've actually been playing a lot of mid recently, Pat. You'd be surprised. I've been mixing it up, trying to learn some other roles. I don't know if I can actually officially steal it, but he's usually cool going 3. I've mostly just been trying to like pick Lena when it's not banned, and if I go mid or carry, I have the opportunity to do that because I'd rather play Lena even if I'm not that good at her, than have to play against it. And even though I'm not that good at her, she's so broken, it's still been working out pretty good for me. Yo, what's up, Zoe?
What's up?
I'm gonna turn you up a little bit. How's your Sunday been going?
I'm doing great. What about you?
Pretty chill. You know, just super lazy kind of Sunday.
Yeah. Sundays are always good for that.
Yeah. Did you cast the prior series?
No, this is my the only series I'm casting.
Oh, okay. I know last week you were like, or 2 weeks ago, you
Yeah.
casted like 7 series and you were probably like, that's a little much.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool though because last time that we casted, we did let me go ahead and turn my camera on here. Last time we casted, we did Block Roar versus KNGI, and it's kind of cool because that was a
We're doing
semifinals game, right? And now we're in the grand finals. This is my first time casting in grand finals for TD2L, and it's going to be against Block Roar and KNGI. So, you know,
Yep.
we've gotten to kind of see the story play out among these two teams.
And last time Block Roar won 2-1.
That's true. That's true. Did you get a chance to look at the series that happened before this? Because it was batshit crazy. I don't know how else to describe it. It was batshit crazy is the best phrase I can think of.
Yeah. I think I joined like midway last game.
Yeah, the last game in the series was the best. So for those of you who didn't already watch the game prior to this, it was between X5 Gaming and Team KNGI. It went to a game 3. The game 3 had a Huskar cheese pick, who the person playing Huskar, that's like, he's plat level Huskar, like spams that hero bit. There was divine rapiers in the game. There was just throws on both sides. There was like a 20k gold lead at one point. It was really chaotic. So where the fuck is the bangs? Oh my god, my bangs are driving me crazy. They're like growing out to the point that they're starting to kind of like get on in my eyes, and so I just, you know, they make bobby pins for this reason. Okay, I just pinned it back. They were annoying the hell out of me, so what can you do? Why'd you talk about the Huskar player like that? Okay, To be fair, I have started learning Huskar. Very fun hero. I am obsessed with Huskar. I love Huskar. So I'm not criticizing spamming Huskar, but I am saying that if you last pick Huskar or you pick Huskar at the end of a captain's mode draft, it technically is a cheese pick in my opinion. Some of us really enjoy playing one hero. I know, Tev. How are you doing, by the way? Looks like the draft is just beginning. We're going to watch it on Dota TV, so there's going to be about a 5-minute delay. So that way we can stay live and we don't have to stream with the delay. So just know it's going to be coming very soon. Are you, Zoe, are you friends with Mantis on Steam?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to just watch through him then, if you want to do the same. Let me know if you're able to load into the game.
Yeah, I'm on the waiting screen now.
Okay, perfect. While we're waiting here, I'm going to go ahead and set up predictions for y'all. Who will win game 1? The nice thing is, because I already had it set up for last time, I'm just going to do this same thing here. So, by the way, I was creeping on your Dota profile, and I saw that you are a Veno gamer as well.
Yeah.
I love that hero. So good. Have you been playing it 3 though? What roles
Not
do you
really.
normally play it?
Before I played on 4, and this patch I played on 5 because like it's a Greaves patch, and I think the Greaves work well with Venom.
Yeah, that's fair. Dire wins game 1 written in the stone. Interesting, interesting. You know, it's like crazy because for a long time in Dota, I had a higher win rate on Dire, and I still just like prefer Dire. I'm like, you know, I don't know, spooky vibes win. But in the more recent patches, when I had the battle report or whatever that came out, it said I started winning on Radiant as well. I'm not sure.
I think in general, Radiant should have a higher win rate. Like out of all Dota games.
Yeah, that's probably true. I know, like, anecdotal evidence is not, you know, the way to go, but stats are interesting for sure in this game. Mel calling out player using their plat tier heroes as last pick? Dude, I'm not calling anyone out. This is a fact. If you last pick certain heroes in the game, it is a cheese pick, and I stand by that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna get clowned on by my chat. It is interesting too, though, with DPC starting to kind of happen. There's, you know, some of the teams that normally do compete in the tournament aren't participating this week, essentially. So, Nuts Destroyer, hello, hello. How are you doing? You gotta love the Twitch names. You know, I may have been subjected to some Huskar trauma before. Yes. As a support main, I may have been subjected to some Huskar trauma before. That's real. That's real. Zoe, have you had to deal with some Huskar trauma before?
Yeah, I certainly. Especially the patch where Omni Knight was the thing. They just picked like Omni Knight and Huskar, and like impops a lot, I think.
When I first learned Dota, it was like a Sven patch, and like, you know, I'm learning Dota, so I'm playing Pause 5, and I just remember like picking CM into Sven just over and over again, and just being like, I'm trying to work on positioning, and it's like, against Sven Ags, positioning doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, that was a nightmare, I agree.
When they last pick, it's a cheese pick. When I last pick techies, I get shit on unfair. What makes like a good techies game though? Honestly, like, cause I'm like, I feel like I haven't really figured out that hero since they reworked it. I don't know. I was never really a big techies spammer though.
I think
Ursa
more
actually was good too. This patch. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying?
No, that's fine. I just should. I've seen much more SA teams playing techies on 5 because it can actually like do a lot of stuff on 5, like initiating and doing damage and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think the disarm is pretty cool, actually. Bring back the old one. No one wants the old techies back, Pat, okay? No one wants the old techies back. New one feels more like a hero than the old one, in my opinion. I think the new one forces you to team fight, and the old one didn't necessarily have that. Oh, no broadcaster. Here we go. All right, draft is beginning here for game number 1 between Team KNGI and Blockwork Esports. If you guys caught my stream from 2 weeks ago, I was also joined by Zoe, who's my wonderful co-caster for the day. And we got the opportunity to cast these two teams in the semifinals for 2DTL, so it's cool to see them kind of coming out on top this week and coming into the grand finals. So I do have predictions up if y'all want to use your channel points to guess who's going to win game number 1. I think there's still 10 minutes or so on predictions, so you can kind of see how this drafting begins. Let me just move my camera over so y'all can see the bands. And no surprise here, first bands coming out of the game is Lena and Treant, two of the more infamous heroes of the patch.
Mm-hmm. And we see the Riki ban as well.
Dire team pick.
Razor ban incoming too. That is true. I mean, we'll see if we end up seeing maybe a first pick Razor since it didn't get banned out.
I think less people have been playing on Razor recently, like in pro games. I think they kind of discovered it's not as strong as they imagined it to be, especially with the Bloodstone nerf as well.
That's true. Alright, Blockroar picking up the Tiny. Lycan Band too, maybe? It's true. Let's see, depending on how they want to strategize. I mean, I think that kind of Team KNGI having the Tusk and the Death Prophet. Tusk being a very versatile pick so far in this patch. You can put it a lot of different places.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I'm expecting to see like a Snap Rubik. Oh, Enigma.
Oh, Enigma. This is interesting. A first round Enigma pick. I feel like, okay, we already have the silence from Death Prophet, so that could be problematic, him playing into it pre-BKB. And also the Snowball from Tusk. I'm not sure what that interaction is with Black Hole, but it always feels a little bit risky picking Enigma this early in the draft. I'm not sure. What do you think, Zoe?
Yeah, I think Tusk is a good counter after he has X, because he can kick the person instead of Snowball. But now Enigma plays more like functional roles instead of like relying singly on the Black Hole. It's like he would also go Greaves, Pipe, that kind of team item, maybe. So I guess that's why they would pick this early.
Okay, so you're saying it kind of works well just with the way that the patch has kind of emphasized aura carrying pos 3s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, they immediately protect the Enigma pick by banning out the Rubik and the Silencer. On the side of KNGI, the PL ban comes out. I think another thing with this Death Prophet is figuring out how to kind of navigate early tower push and the exorcism that can really create a strong team fight. So do you think there's any answers that Blockroar can kind of pick up to help counter the Death Prophet?
I think so. For early stage, they want someone who can like clear the wave, and then I think for the if they're considered like mid-late team fights, they want someone who can either go like Vessel, Scotty, any kind of like heal reduction. There could be a lot of choices, but I think DP is a strong hero itself.
Absolutely. Do we think this is going to be a Death Prophet mid or potentially a 3? Where do you think this might be going?
I think it's more likely that it's on pause 3.
5 seconds remaining.
But I've seen some DP5s, which is unusual, but like could be happening.
Absolutely. Vendetta, what's going on? How's your Sunday going? Thank you for tuning in. I mean, do you think that, like, based on these two picks in the draft, do you think that the teams will be going more for like team fight or for pickoff?
It could go either way. I think we still can't tell through these picks. Let's see what are they gonna pick next.
Dire team pick.
Oh,
Get the Wraith King. Not a carry you're seeing, I feel like, a ton right now in pro Dota at the moment. What are your thoughts on the Wraith King?
yeah. I think it's like kind of like a classic, not like counter, but he can survive through the first black hole and then use his second life to fight. But yeah, we haven't seen that around that much.
I mean, I guess the other nice thing about the Wraith King is it does provide a stun. So right now on the side of KNGI, every hero that they've drafted so far does have some type of answer to Enigma if they don't get caught in the black hole. So that's certainly something. I think Wraith King also prevents the potential for like a Faceless Void or things like that, which I'm kind of wondering with the Silencer and Rubik ban if maybe Block Roar had been considering that hero.
Could be a possibility. So they're banning a lot of pause ones.
Yeah, they're really focusing on that. The TA, the Sniper, the PL, the Naga. Get all those carries out of the way.
They'll have like Nature, Slark. Slark might be good against these three heroes.
Yeah, what do you think about like in Ursa or something like that?
I think up to this point Ursa is still okay-ish. Locroar is taking a long time for this one.
Yeah, they're really thinking here what they're gonna grab next.
So they're gonna pick two heroes. 15 seconds left on their backup time.
Dire team pick.
Oh, the Shadow Demon.
Oh, the Shadow Demon cleanse.
And they're gonna combine Shadow Demon with da. Although Shadow Demon and Tiny together can be pretty terrifying. Oh, a Morphling. Okay. I was gonna say you definitely need. I almost wanted some type of ranged right clicker to just kind of, if they do end up getting a nice black hole, have that damage.
Yeah.
Now that we're kind of seeing the draft come together, what do you think Shadow Demon can kind of provide here for Block Roar Esports?
So I definitely think that the Shadow Demon's shard is really strong. And then last week, I've seen Block Roar play Shadow Demon Luna and take that game like super fast.
Interesting.
But the Shadow Demon Morphling interaction, it's not a combo that we would see that much, but definitely like ability to save Morphling from getting initiated on.
Right, absolutely, and also just the ability to kind of have the illusions for a little bit of extra damage, tower push, and other situations.
Dire team ban.
And KNGI goes with the Ancient Apparition, which, like, okay, so I was having a conversation about this the other day. Do we still think that Ancient Apparition is strong enough, like, as, like, a traditional counter? Because I think Ancient Apparition has been, like, usually a traditional counter to high healing heroes, like the Treant Protector, like Morphling. Do do we still think that he's
Radiant team
as strong
ban.
as he used to be against these types of heroes?
I think on textbook, like A should be good against like this patch where, as I said, like it's aura accentuating team fight stuff. But then I think A is
10
pretty
seconds
weak
remaining.
in lane,
Hmm.
and it really depends on like in a team fight how many people could he hit with his ult.
Right.
So I don't think it's as strong as before.
Dire
Yeah.
team ban.
It's incredibly situational, I suppose, like as long as he can kind of hit the ults. I guess the nice thing too, though, with pairing him with a hero like Wraith King, you can kind of secure Cold
Mhm.
Feet will actually hit in lane, so you could potentially have a little bit of a stronger lane just based on that. Like I feel like a lot of times
10
he gets
seconds
paired,
remaining.
like he feels so weak in lane when he doesn't have a carry with the
5
stun that he's
seconds
playing with.
remaining.
So
Yeah.
final bans coming out here. As the draft is about to wrap up, any predictions on what would kind of complete these drafts on
Radiant
either
team
side?
ban.
So on the blocker side, I
Team
think
pick.
they're missing a pause too. And then, as we see, 4 mid heroes are banned in the last round of banning: Pango, Bat, Ember, and Puck. So, what other mid heroes can we expect to see? Let me think.
10 seconds
Well, they don't
remaining.
have much time left.
5 seconds remaining.
Mm,
Radiant team
heroes.
pick.
Oh, they pick up the coddle here.
Um,
Interesting. So, is this a coddle mid then, or is this a tiny mid?
well, last week I've seen them like the Shadow Demon Luna game that I talked about. They had a column mid, and
Oh,
they
they
were
did.
able
10
to
seconds
like
remaining.
kind of omega stack, and it's even better because they're in
5
dire,
seconds remaining.
and the ability for Coddle to stack is even
You may now
better
select
in
your
dire.
heroes.
Interesting. So they just get him super farmed up and get him in ags, I suppose, and that can help with your team fight a lot. The Nyx Assassin getting picked up here as KNGI's final pick. Which draft are you liking better, Zoe, for game number 1 here?
I think I like let me think. So Coddle mid Coddle would have a vessel at a very early timing.
Mm,
That means the early push or like team fight attempts by DP is kind of countered.
okay.
And then let's see how the laning stage goes. I think both drafts are kind of unusual in their own ways. So
Yeah, it's kind of fun because I feel like it is game 1. This is a best of 3 series, and so it's kind of like, well, game 1 might as well try out some different strategies. I mean, you are mentioning that they have played the Coddle mid before, but I feel like, if you're doing a Shadow Demon Morphling or something a little bit more unconventional, this is the game to kind of try it out in, and if it doesn't work, then you can always fall back on something a little bit more predictable.
mhm.
But yeah, interesting to see that, like you mentioned, Razor never even was a contested pick in the picks or the bans here for this. So the era
Yeah.
of Razor may just be over, at least in high MMR. I think it's still going to get abused a bit in low MMR, but what can you do? And there's still a few more minutes for folks in chat if you want to get in on the channel points and predict who you think is going to win this first game.
Yeah, I think last time I saw their like similar draft, I was not. I think I like their draft at all. But then they surprised me with very good team coordination and like in terms of stacking and like preventing the other team from like getting their stacks.
Yeah, that is actually an interesting concept because I feel like, especially in these types of games, people know. They're like, oh, this guy's been in the jungle for a bit. What's he doing? And they'll plant a deep ward. So we'll see if you know, they're able to
Yeah.
kind of respond to that. The Nyx will be a pain in the ass for Dire. Nyx is always a pain in the ass, that's true. Is this a Nyx Pause 4? Because it's Nameless playing it, and I believe he's the
Yes.
Pause 4 player.
Mhm.
Not every day you get to see the support get a last pick, so get a little love for the supports. But I guess the mana drain is good, or the mana removal is good against Morphling.
Yeah.
And again, another stun to kind of help mitigate the black holes potentially. So already a 5-man smoke coming out here.
The Carapace is really good early game to counter black hole.
Absolutely. Both teams making their way down as the runes are about to spawn. What do we think about the level 1 first blood potential for either teams? Is there an advantage, you'd say, on either side?
Yeah, because Enigma's certainly not gonna go because he wanted to like get the first wave to his islands, and then yeah, I think Dire is actually pretty weak on the first blood content with the Morphling and Enigma. But they did get a ward
30
here
seconds to battle.
to see the Dire jungle on the Radiant side. So like if I
On
think
the
they
cliff?
would want to see the one that's next to the cliff. That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
Radiant one.
It's kind of like,
Yeah, they could see like the stacking and stuff.
yeah, that is a smart ward. Looks like KNGI will advance up here into that jungle area
The battle
to secure that
begins.
rune. Shadow Demon actually coming in. He's by himself. I don't know if they have enough. The shards don't land. He manages to kind of juke around, goes back up into the triangle. DP and Tusk continuing to follow. They have... Oh, he manages to TP. We did have the Impale available, but they didn't have a... Didn't get there quick enough in time, despite the fact he had boot starting. And as we thought, the Death Prophet is going to be pause 3. It's going to be a Tusk mid here. Let's talk a little bit about each of kind of the lanes and how we might expect them to play out. So who is kind of favored in, let's talk about the mid lane first. Who's kind of favored in this Tusk versus Keeper of the Light matchup?
I think what like Call Mid does is just like pushing out the waves and then go stack. And we would expect to see Tusk rotating the time where Calo is just, you know, in jungle and illuminating the creeps.
Right, so there's going to be a lot of early rotations by Tusk that Coddle may not be able to respond to.
Until he has travel boots.
Which it does look like he's queued that up. He's going to be rushing that, apparently.
But always excited to see a Tusk mid where he would be making a lot of plays in early games, I assume.
Dire's top tower
Absolutely.
is under attack.
Let's talk a little bit about here in this bottom lane, the Wraith King and Ancient Apparition versus the Tiny and Enigma. Who's going to kind of hit their power spikes first here?
So I think that both Wraith King and AA doesn't really have an ability to... Oh, the combo you were talking about.
Yeah,
it
does have to pop that Fairy Fire, but the Cold Feet isn't going to land. They didn't time that perfectly. Let's see if they can kind of get that down as the laning stage continues. Does have that armlet queued up here onto the Wraith King, so probably going to go that armlet Deso build. Get some
They don't really
early
have
damage
way
out.
to, clear the islands. So that's a little bit
Shadow
painful.
Demon taking quite a bit of damage up there. The Impale does land, but they don't have enough to hit it. Manages to healing salve up here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, we're already seeing 6 denies, so seeing kind of the strength that the Eidolons can kind of provide in the lane.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's quite even here all the lanes are actually incredibly even at this point, except for top lane. Morphling is getting a slight lead. Once he hits that level 3, it's going to be incredibly hard for them to put too much pressure on him. He already has that magic wand, so going to be giving him quite a bit of regen here. And they're actually going to try to go on Nameless. Going to have to pop the stick there. Disruption goes out, but just continue to harass. Tusk taking quite a bit of damage there. Does have his bottle out, but not able to sidestep all of those Coddle Blasts.
Yeah, Morphling actually get points on each of its spell instead of going level 2 on the attribute shift.
Yeah, I've
So
been
they're
actually kind
looking
of
for-
noticing the
Yeah.
that kind of seems like the new build on Morphling, huh?
Mm-hmm. Has more kill potential.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's kind of already like almost a slow game. Like we haven't seen First Blood just yet.
Radiant's courier
Lots of
has been
resources
killed.
though kind of being used on both sides.
Yeah, and the last hits are pretty even.
Yeah, both teams playing very disciplined, waiting for their power spikes and timings.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, Snowball goes out here into the middle lane. Fairy Fire gets popped, keeping Ryu alive. He also does have that early infused raindrops, which is certainly gonna help any advances from the Tusk.
He also bought a cell for himself, and he's not been stacking that much actually.
Yeah, it seems like he's just kind of doing some of these camps and then pushing out the lane. I think he's aware that there's a creepy Nyx assassin kind of coming through this area, checking out the stacks, which they do have the one stack that Shadow Demon
Dire's
has
top
made.
tower is under attack.
DP putting a little bit of harass as the catapult steps up to the tower. Eidolon's chipping away here onto Ancient Apparition. Gonna have to pop that Fairy Fire, but it's not gonna be enough. And First Blood will get taken down here in that bottom lane.
Oh, it's 5 stack on the Nameless. Oh,
Regen
Terra
Rune
first.
spawning here for the 6 minutes. Nameless going down here in the top lane to the Morphling. Some support rotations to get the regen rune. We don't have a bottle on Coddle, so bottle on Coddle, haha. So Tiny's gonna grab that regen rune, and he's actually gonna get potentially cut off by Tusk, but manages to do a cheeky little play here with the avalanche and toss back to grab that bounty rune. Some advancement. Impale goes out here onto the Shadow Demon. A little dewarding action. Disruption goes out. Try to deny that rune, but is not going to be able to get that off in time.
the
Oh,
5
Nameless
stack
actually
of
goes down.
poison actually
Yeah.
killed.
We do have the Boots of Travel now available on Keeper of the Light. He's now going for that urn next. Tusk actually TPing into the bottom lane, has the Walrus Punch or the Walrus Kick available. Enigma still level 5. They might be able to make an advancement here. Snowball goes out. Cold Feet into the stun. They managed to get that combo into the Walrus Punch. Tusk will grab that kill there. Meanwhile, Nameless able to soak some XP mid here. We do have
And
the
that
completed Urn of Shadows now onto Ryu, so we might see a little bit more rotations now by him. Double damage is spawning here for the 8-minute rune in the bottom lane. Let's see who can get a hold of that.
Dire are
Looks like
scanning.
Nameless is on the way.
Dire's
More action happening here in the bottom lane. Cold Feet lands, but the heal from Ryu will keep him alive for a little bit longer. Andre is trying to healing salve up. The disruption goes out here onto the Wraith King, or onto the Tusk, excuse me, and he will fall. It's the first black hole of the game. Wraith King has that armlet, has now kind of resorted into the jungle since a lot of action is happening here into this bottom lane. Nameless has rotated down with that double damage. The Eidolon's chipping down on the tower, throws out an impale, but is keeping quite far back because he recognizes there are 3 heroes down in the bottom lane.
Radiant's bottom tower
At
is
the same time, DP popped his Exo
Right,
and bring pressure to the top tower.
true. The glyph does go out up top. Morphling hiding there in the trees.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Do get the bottom tower. Let's see if
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
KNGI can secure this top one, and the answer is yes.
Middle tower is under
No tower denies there. Ancient Apparition coming up here to try to put some pressure on the Morphling. Still has his level 5 though. Gonna go ahead and switch this over from last hits to net worth. And we have the Morbid mask now on Morphling, so his farm is gonna continue to get increased.
Yeah, the Dota Plus has given 50-50 win rate for the 2 teams.
Yeah, very close game. Only 1k gold difference. Nameless getting gone on. Pops out the Impale. Still doesn't have enough for the ultimate. But we'll just walk away as that completed wand. 10 minutes. Tome timings. Some of these supports that are a little bit underleveled will hit their 6s, which can provide some interesting advantages here in the game. Ten-minute catapults also coming out here.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And Death Prophet getting some rotations up top. Manages to get away with the Siphon. Does have the mechanism available as well, so is kind of going for this aura build as we talked about. It's going to be a little bit hard for the other team to kind of burst them down.
Are you serious?
The next big timings I'm kind of interested in are going to be these blink timings. So Tusk has a blink queued up, is about 1,000 gold away from that. Nyx Assassin also has a blink queued up, is quite far away from it, but will be interesting to kind of see what happens. Meanwhile, we have a 3-man smoke coming up here into the top lane.
Radiant are scanning.
They spot Nameless. Ancient Apparition ult goes out. Ryu will ultimately take him down on the Coddle.
And that was a smoke attempt for DP, but Nameless actually was able to block it, so...
Yeah, honestly, I think, yeah, if you're on the side of KNGI, that's probably advantageous to you. The Nyx Assassin able to kind of break that smoke with his Vendetta.
With the next Exo coming up, I wonder if they're gonna pressure this top tower even more, or if we could see a team fight mid.
I know, I would love to see some action happening mid, but it seems like they're really playing patient with this this blink timing kind of here, so.
Yeah.
Shards do go out here onto the Shadow Demon, but no advancements, just a little harass. Both teams kind of playing on their retrospective side of the map. Another smoke coming out here between the Tiny and the Coddle. See if they can finally catch out this Death Prophet.
It's the vessel.
They're pinging him out.
Finished.
Morphling wave forms in to try to get the advancement. Spirit Siphon does go off. A blast comes out. And they finally do get that Death Prophet. No Nyx Assassin to harass this time. They're spotting out the Enigma. He does have Black Hole available, but when you stun him, he's not going to be able to get that off. The Vessel coming out here onto the Wraith King. Has that armlet, trying to toggle, does have ult. That's his first life. Skeletons go down. 3 heroes trying to get this. Get this kill. The heal coming out here by the Coddle. They utilize Cold Feet.
Still toggling.
I know. What a champ here. Oh, Snowball, a little bit of backup here from KNGI. The Impale goes out, managing to Cold Feet combo, and they actually managed to get both Keeper of the Light and Tiny down from that interaction, which is really big for them because Keeper of the Light is at the top of the net worth right now, and things are still very relatively close in this game, but anytime you're able to kind of knock him off the pedestal, very good for KNGI.
The other thing is Kodo actually used all of his vessel charges to try to kill this Wraith King so that he could get another tube, but instead he died, so now he's with 0 vessel charges and less threat to DP.
Yeah, I agree, MJ. That was actually some crazy toggling that happened. The very delayed tip going out here, but that is one thing. I mean, Enigma just respawned. We do have the black hole available.
Oh,
they managed
that
to
blast.
They managed to snipe the Morphling there. I'm loving kind of like this support duo, because we were talking about like how weak Ancient Apparition feels, especially in the laning stage, but now that it's kind of coming into the mid game and combined with the Nyx Assassin, it's really fun here to kind of see these interactions. Oh, Snowball going out here. DP has gotten tossed back. Is Spirit Siphoning, trying to heal up, uses that mechanism, still has Exo available, is not going to pop it. Does fall to the Enigma there. They managed to get Shadow Demon out, elsewhere on the map. But Wraith King now taking this well, actually, he keeps teetering between first and second net worth here, so very close game.
I'll have the black hole and Exo off cooldown.
Yeah, we have the black hole off cooldown, and both Pos 3s now have those mechanisms. Enigma working his way on the BKB. Definitely gonna have to rush that to get some impactful black holes here.
Dire are scanning.
And looks like Keeper of the Light also queuing up the BKB, so it's gonna be a big timing for the side of Block Roar. We do have the Blink available on Tusk. He's now going for the Aghanim Scepter.
Well done, my beauties.
Vendetta A will be suffering for Morph, absolutely. It's definitely good drafting by the side of KNGI. Disruption goes out here into the mid lane. The Carapace to try to prolong the death of the Tusk here. Keeper of the Light is going to secure that. Meanwhile, toss back onto the Death Prophet. And they have their eyes set now onto the Ancient Apparition next. Solar Bind goes out. Avalanche into the Carapace. And the only one that's going to be able to walk away from that fight is the Nyx Assassin, which is leaving mid tower potentially open for Block Roar to take it. Kado's going to heal up those creeps. The Glyph goes out. Eidolon's chipping away at this tower with 5 heroes standing here in the mid lane on the side of Block Roar.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, Enigma doesn't have the opportunity to kind of go blink early this game. He really does have to kind of get that BKB first. And speaking of Enigma, they find him using the Vendetta hit, using the Impale, Snowball onto him. He pops that mechanism. Is it going to be enough? Wraith King now with the completed Desolator, putting out a lot of damage, manages to take down the Tiny, and now they're continuing to chase this Enigma. The shards go out. I'm going to give that to their carry. His first life will get taken, so that might at least stop the pressure for a little bit on the side of Wraith King, but now they have their eyes set on the tower. Don't have Exorcism available, but do have the mechanism. He's going for Lotus next here on the side of Death Prophet, and they're going to continue to chip away at that, so now both mid towers will be down. Keeper of the Light getting very close to that BKB timing. the dewarding action. They find that ward that could potentially reveal the jungling activity happening. Morphling getting awfully close to this Manta timing. Get a little vision here with this Ancient Apparition. Ice Blast. Oh, and they managed to hit him, and with the Snowball take him down. Can they turn this to get a return kill? Answer seems to be no. And they do spot the ward that was hanging out by the
Dire's bottom
Ancients.
tower is under
How they
attack.
spotted the Morphling in the first place, so that does get dewarded. BKB now finished on Keeper of the Light. Tuscan Ancient Apparition still hanging out in the triangle, do decide to back up now. A double man smoke coming out here between Nyx Assassin and Wraith King. Nyx now having that Blink Dagger available. Still don't have the reincarnation for another 8 seconds, but looks like since that's about to be off cooldown, Wraith King's happy to play a little bit more aggressive, actually opting for that Blink next. Doesn't seem like he's going to need the BKB just quite yet. 3-man smoke coming out here onto the side of Block Roar. Trying to get some deep vision into the bottom jungle area.
Yeah, waiting for someone to clear the wave behind T2.
They actually
but-
pop Exorcism here and are going into the Roach Pit on the side of KNGI. Does Block Roar? No. Tiny coming out here. Snowball goes out into the silence. A Spirit Siphon. The Black Hole on the back line with Wraith King and the Nyx Assassin. They managed to take him down. They're going to have the BKB on the Enigma, but it's ending, and he's going to fall with that Exorcism. Very difficult for them to fight into. Ancient Apparition buying back Morphling, advancing towards the Roche Pit. Doesn't have that Manta still because the Courier actually died. Is trying to fight between the Tusk and the Wraith King, but it's just too much damage. They don't have Death Prophet though, so I'm not sure if either team is going to be able to actually finish off this Roshan. They're still pinging it out though. It's pretty much full health though, so I think they're gonna back up. I mean, Wraith King still has his reincarnation. The Black Hole actually didn't do enough damage to take it down. The Morphling also kind of was like on the other side, like he was over by the Roche Pit, and then the Black Hole kind of happened by that cliff, so the team was kind of like awkwardly split up. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they definitely were split up into battlefields where DP was kind of alone,
Radiant's
and
bottom tower is under attack.
people were fighting on the other side with Morph.
Nameless looking at Ryu, gets the Impale off, seeing if he can get any backup. We have the Snowball coming out on the way. He blinks out, gets a Solar Bind. Disruption comes out,
The BKB.
and Wraith King blinking in. Yeah, Keeper of the Light popping that BKB with the Spirit Vessel. It's a lot of damage. He's gonna try to Lotus to save his mid laner for a little bit longer here, but it's not gonna be enough. Ice Blast coming in isn't going to hit anyone. So I think if you're on the side of Block Roar, fight was advantageous for you.
Yeah, to turn initiation on Caudle into the other way around.
Absolutely.
Radiant's top
We
tower
do have
is under
you know, Exorcism about to be up, so curious to see if KNGI opts to try another Roshan play. Looks like some action is happening here in the mid lane. Tiny trying to TP out. We don't have the Carapace or the Impale available on the side of the Nyx Assassin, but they do have their eyes set onto the Shadow Demon. Impale's gonna go out. Wraith King blinking in, snagging that kill. I love the team coordination and that they're kind of saving these kills for the Wraith King. Like, he's at the top of the net worth. They're just kind of helping their carry out here. And he does output quite a bit of damage now with these 10 Desolator charges. They're back in the Roche Pit with Exo. Shadow Demon won't respawn for another 15 seconds. This just may be their window. And unlike last time, it doesn't look like Block Roar wants to contest.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Yeah, they know that Black Hole is not up yet, and with Dazzle and Axel, they could finish it very quickly.
Absolutely. Wraith King getting very close to that BKB timing. Who did they? Oh, they gave it to Tusk. Okay, that makes sense. I guess Wraith King isn't really the best Aegis holder.
And Aghanim Scepter finished on Tusk side.
Ooh, okay. Definitely gonna have to keep close watch onto what Tusk decides to do here next. Catches the Eidolons out. Try to do a little chip damage on them as they have their sights set on this T1 tower, the last T1 tower that they haven't yet taken.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, Blockworm moving on the opposite side of the map,
Dire's bottom tower
trying to kite
has
out
fallen.
this Aegis.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Three-man smoke coming out here on the side
Dire's bottom tower
of
is under
KNGI,
attack.
see if they can find anyone, but everyone's on the opposite side of the map.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Yeah, it seems like Black Rose not gonna contend for this T2. And even if they are, everyone is positioned already
Dire's bottom tower
Yeah,
for
I mean,
whoever is gonna come.
Dire's bottom
it's kind of interesting because they had the BKB and Black Hole, but I think that's still, considering how last fight went, a little concerned. Oh, Walrus kick out in the Shadow Demon is going to fall. Tiny trying to get to safety. Cold Feet not going to land. Wraith King actually onto the high ground, has that Lotus, which is going to really provide so much for them here in this push endeavor. Tusk now trying to kicks out the BKB'd Enigma here. He's going to Black Hole the Wraith King. Wraith King doesn't have that second life available, but once the Black Hole ends, is managing to pop that BKB. Keeper of the Light popping a BKB of his own. See if he can make any action happening. Meanwhile, Tusk trying to snowball out to safety, seeing if he could get another pick off here onto the high ground. The Aegis does go down. So far, Blockworm managing to defend pretty well there in the high ground. I mean, the only person who gets picked off are the supports. And you do pop that Aegis, so for now, KNGI retreating a little bit.
I think in turn, they're gonna turn to the T2 mid or top. Still have Axel available, and Greaves finished on DP.
Good point. Actually opting for the AC next on Wraith King, so definitely trying to have kind of this early push lineup, I guess. They definitely don't want to go late game against a Morphling. And despite the fact they don't have, you know, Black Hole up, we do have a four-man smoke here on the side of Blockworm, seeing if they can find an opening. Wraith King doesn't have reincarnation for the next 50 seconds. Morphling running into him. We now have the Scotty finished on Morphling. He's going to waveform away so the Ice Blast is not going to land. And that's quite the successful smoke. Disruption goes out here. Onto the Ancient Apparition. And he's just going to get bursted down.
Dire's middle
We're
tower
seeing
is under
Blockworm find their opening and find a way to kind of turn around this game now that Morphling has that Scotty.
Yeah, it was a good timing of knowing that Wraith King doesn't have Reincarnation nor BKB.
Yeah, I think it's also interesting because, you know, he was going to go for that Manta and I think realized, like,
are fortified.
hey, I just need to go for the Scotty. So nice kind of rework on the
Radiant's
itemization
top
there
tower is under attack.
from him.
Yeah,
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
especially after getting blasted twice by Nyx and AA combo.
Yeah, I will say the other thing is, like, man, Ancient Apparition, this is pause 5 realness for you right here. Arcane Boots and a Sentry and an Iron Branch. That's all you have to your name.
Yeah, he also has Shard though, but still, it's very. Yeah, it's pause 5. What can you do?
What can you do?
Middle tower is under attack.
Some lines getting drawn out here on the map. Blocker kind of happy to kind of camp by this vision they have. I like that they put up a ward and are kind of sitting around here seeing if there's any takers. Anyone want to walk up into this triangle and farm a little bit?
Scanning.
And it doesn't look like anyone on the side of KNGI wants to do that, so. We do have the Hyperstone completed now here on Wraith King as he continues to work toward that Assault Curious. Mode poverty, exactly. And a 3-man smoke coming on here on the side of KNGI. Impale goes out into the Ice Blast. Wraith King's joining the fight. Ryu has popped that BKB into the Roche pit. There's no Roshan, which means Tiny's going to get cut off. Oh, Morphling actually getting kicked back into the Wraith King. Pops that BKB. Reincarnation will go off. Morphling, though, manages to TP out in time before the Reincarnation respawn. See if they can get any more advancements here. BKB coming out here onto Enigma, but he's going to get kicked and fall. This minus armor Wraith King build is great for mid-game, but suffers versus morph-based armor. Absolutely. I think that's the point we were mentioning earlier, is they're trying to push, and I think with the Exorcism and the early Roshan that they were able to get, they certainly have the potential to do that, but unfortunately last time they tried to push high ground, they weren't really able to break the tower, so just have to see how they continue to play this, and they are continuing to keep the pressure up now here in the mid lane. Shards go out, it's not going to catch anyone. Exorcism gets popped. The side of Block Roar, happy to just kind of sit behind the Keeper of the Light, who's continuing to blast out the wave. He's going for the Dagon next, but he gets kicked out. They're able to take the Tusk back, though, and they don't have any follow-up for the Keeper of the Light that was pushed back. And they're going to use this opportunity to 5-man smoke here on the side of Block Roar. A double damage spawning here in the bottom lane is just going to get denied. And everyone on KNGI is able to get out for the time being. Exorcism's ending. Won't have that available for the next 100 seconds. Oh, Wraith King. Nice blink by him. Manages to get to safety. He does get disrupted. Is getting pinged out here by the Shadow Demon. Gonna get Lotus. He does have that reincarnation available. He does have the backup of his teammates. 3-man smoke coming out here. They're pinging out Keeper of the Light, who's in the bottom lane. Nyx Assassin in Vendetta. Has the Impale available. Does use it. Wraith King's now here to join. The blast will go out. And they'll manage to get the Keeper of the Light. Yeah, 2 hits. Snowball going out here into the kick of the Enigma. He's going to pop that BKB. Has the black hole available, but doesn't want to use it yet. Is going to TP out, and this time Tusk doesn't have the ult to stop his TP. They're going to continue to fight, though. Snowball here onto the Tiny. Eliminate him. And Shadow Demon managing to TP into safety. They had the Fire Blast available, but they weren't able to get vision just in time. I think this is interesting because they're managing to, you know, cause Enigma to pop the BKB multiple times. So even though he has Black Hole available, he doesn't have BKB, so can't really do the full combo.
Yeah.
And Glyph goes out here as they're trying to put some pressure here into the bottom lane. Shadow Demon getting kicked out into the corner. Nice blink there on his side. And they finally managed to break high ground on the side of KNGI. Meanwhile, the Morpholutions with the catapult putting a little bit of pressure here into this bottom lane. I will say, like, right now, you know, Wraith King has been playing so much more active than this Morphling. But every time that this Morphling does join a fight, it is the most terrifying thing ever.
Yeah, I don't know. If Wraith King is left alone with Morphling, it is pretty dangerous for Wraith King, but he was able to kill, like, every other of his teammates and then probably leave the Morphling for the last to deal with.
Roche respawn is going to be happening in the next minute or so. Both teams are quite aware there's some advancements happening down here into the bottom, or into the near the triangle area. Nyx Assassin managing to blink out in time. Shards go out. Both teams kind of dancing synced. if they actually want to fight this. We do have Black Hole available and the BKB up. Enigma looking to pick up an Aeon Disc next. We have the Exorcism available too, so all the big team fights abilities could happen. Blink goes out, so Snowball isn't going to land. Vessel Charge going onto the Tusk. Morphling waving in and shotgunning him down.
Dire's bottom barracks are under attack.
And they're actually going to manage to pick off the Ancient Apparition as well there. And Roche about to respawn 1 second. See if they notice.
Oh,
Okay, he goes
yes,
back into the
they
pit.
did.
I know, I was like, if he walks away, please no. Manages to find that though, so. Block Roar. Going to start chonking away at this Roshan. Has the shard available. Who do you think they're going to give the shard to?
Are scanning.
I think probably gonna give to either Morph or Shadow Demon.
Dire are scanning. Roshan has fallen to the dark.
Coddle Magic Amp gives Morph a free E-Blade. That is true. The Solar Bind plus Morph hit, like that's actually an interesting combination I hadn't really thought about before. So yeah, did they give the... Okay, yeah, they give the Aghanim Shard to the Morphling, which gives him the Attribute Shift while stunned. Which against the team he's having to play into, probably not a bad idea. And Morphling picks up a Blink of his own. We got the Overwhelming Blink now completed onto the Wraith King.
Yeah, we've actually seen so many blinks on this game that.
Oh yeah, pretty much every single person in this game is gonna have a blink by the end of it, except maybe Ancient Apparition.
Yeah. They were able to jerk around the initiations. Wraith King still top net worth, but Morphling is catching up really soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Another quick little item checks here. So Death Prophet working their way onto the Shivas. Nyx Assassin has the Yules completed, going for a 4 staff now, so can blink in and still get out to safety if needed. Keeper of the Light working on a Lingon Sphere has the Octarine Core completed. And a little bit of action happening down here into the mid lane. Nice Black Hole going out, getting both the Nyx Assassin and the Tusk. Morphling grabbing one of those kills. And now they can potentially push this tier 2 as they continue to have Aegis.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Skeletons putting some pressure top here with the Catapult Wave. Keeper of the Light is going to TP up there to respond
Radiant's
as the
middle
rest of
tower
his team
is under
continues to hit this tier 2.
attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Keeping on to pressure the high ground tower. But Tusk and Nyx still need 20 seconds to respawn.
Yeah, Coddle has the Boots of Travel back up, so he's able to kind of TP and join the rest of the team. They use a glyph here as the Morpholution's trying to chip down on the other lane. Wraith King here on the back line using his first life manages to pick off the Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon's going to buy back Ice Blast. It's not going to land. The Fire Blast is going to hit though onto the tiny skeletons coming out here. See if they can get in the Spirit Siphon. One more hit. They manage to take down the tiny. Tusk though is on the back line trying to kick off this Morphling who still has the Aegis, is actually going to fall. Exorcism is not going to be enough against the Scotty. He's going to also fall on the side of the Death Prophet. Ancient Apparition trying to juke away in the trees with Cold Feet, but it's going to be too much. It's going to buy back there. We have buyback available
Is under attack.
on the Tusks. That's the only member of the Radiant side that still has buyback. Wraith King popping that BKB, gets on top of Keeper of the Light, manages to take him down. Enigma is BKB'd. The BKB is about to end though. Andis is going to get popped. Enough time for the blink. And now they have their eyes set on the Morphling. He doesn't have any other members of his team to back him up, but has that BKB available. Also as the Manta is going to try to waveform TP, but they managed to use him in time. Cold Feet is going to land. He's going to Manta. He is essentially 1v4ing right now, but it's not going to be enough. They managed to get his 6-time kill streak and kill him twice, so KNGI certainly keeping up a fight, not out of this just yet, and they're starting to run down the mid lane here on Wraith King and Tusk.
This back and forth we're seeing, Block Row was doing really good until everyone on the other team respawned and then give them a half team wipe.
Yeah, Ancient Apparition did have to buy back there, but you know, definitely a well-worth buyback. See if they can break this high ground. 40 more seconds before Ancient Apparition is up. They do have the Reincarnation available. They managed to kick out the Tiny, but he's going to blink out in time. The Disruption saving him there. Guardian Greaves try to heal up the team. This next creep wave has come. Tusk managing to kick out the Tiny, who's going to fall. They managed to take the tower down, so have broken the high ground and forcing a buyback from the side of Block Roar. Still an incredibly close game, only a 1k gold disparity.
Yeah, the win probability has been favored 72%, 28%. Just 2 minutes or 3 minutes ago, now it's even again.
Yeah, oh my goodness. That is crazy. Bringing it back to, what was the last time we looked at it? Like 10 minutes when it was 50-50, or maybe it was 15 minutes. So,
yeah.
Incredibly close game. Nyx Assassin positioning here in this upper jungle area, seeing if he can potentially get vision of anyone. Enigma opting for the Refresher Orb next. And a 4-man smoke coming out here onto the side of KNGI.
Unknown until BKB on Tusk.
Ooh, okay. He finally gets that 40-minute BKB. Which is definitely going to help him against that. Morphling getting caught out here with the Impale Disruption, though, goes out Ice Blast. He gets kicked back. Snowball goes out, but he's going to waveform back onto the high ground and manage to pop out that BKB. Supports on the back line, though, getting picked up, both the Shadow Demon and the Nyx Assassin. Exorcism getting popped here. They're continuing to stay on the Morphling, though, but he continues to strength shift here. Wraith King chipping down on the Enigma, manages to get that pick off. Nyx Assassin buying back here. Morphling gonna blink out, but blinks into the Nyx Assassin, who's bought back, gets impaled, gets Yules, trying to waveform TP. Do they have anything to stop this TP? They don't. He manages to TP off to safety.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack. Dire's bottom barracks has fallen.
And meanwhile, KNGI finding the opening here to continue to chip away at the high ground. Tusk incredibly low, will fall, but manages to kick back the Keeper of the Light just in time. Enigma buying back. KNGI working their way now toward the mid racks. Wraith King still has that reincarnation available. Now has picked up a Silver's Edge.
Nobody has buyback. All 10 people are out of buyback, and
These are my personal favorite kind of games. We are very close to, I guess, Death Prophet having buyback. That's like the only person, but and Wraith King just now has buyback as well. So next big timing is going to be this Roshan respawn. It's not going to respawn for another minute and 40 seconds.
it would be exciting to see if it's Axe or Refresher Shard.
Yeah.
Just try me.
Absolutely. Yeah, Wraith King has definitely been doing a good job of prioritizing the backline and knowing kind of when to initiate on the Morphling.
Mm-hmm.
We actually have Morphling going for a Silver's Edge of his own. Meanwhile, Wraith King queuing up the Abyssal Blade. Both teams kind of once again on their sides, respective sides of the map. And Nyx Assassin actually deciding to go Scythe of Vice next.
Yeah, DP decided to buy out the Etherlands instead of saving the buyback, and he already had size from the last team fight.
Yeah, that is interesting. He's got a Talesman of Evasion. Is he going Halberd or something?
Yeah, I was looking at that as well. I think Albert would be good, but then I think he would prioritize on Octarine or something like that.
Oh, Roshan has just respawned. It is going to be that Aghanim's Blessing. The Morphling Illusion goes into the pit. The Eidolon, both teams are aware that Roshan has respawned. Wraith King managing to get the pickup onto the Shadow Demon. He doesn't have buyback, so that might be their window to continue to find more. Exorcism gets popped. The Death Prophet is in the Roshan pit. Soon to be joined here by the Wraith King. Is going to sit outside of it. They have the backup of the rest of the team nearby as well.
Doesn't seem like Dire is contending for this.
No, with that pickoff. And this is really the first time in the game we're seeing that, like a quite a big gold lead. So once again, they do give the Aegis of the Immortal to the Tusk. Wraith King gets the Aghanim's Blessing, which is going to provide that additional few seconds of life for his teammates. And with one final set of Tier 3 Tower and Rax, let's see if Black Roar can continue to hold. Morphling managing to chip down one of the Tier 2s with a double catapult wave, putting some pressure here onto the bottom lane, forcing out the glyph. See if he wants to take this final mid-Rax, which he does. Trying to see if he can force anyone back, but KNGI hard set on continuing to push. Manages to kick out the Enigma, pops that BKB, has the black hole available, but will blink out. Reincarnation goes down. Wraith King doesn't have the Aegis, so that's his first life, but pops that BKB, happy to chip down on the Tiny here. Enigma getting popped out. Keeper of Light putting the Lincolns on him. Disruption will go out, but the Ice Blast is gonna hit the Cold Feet. Now there's a Gem of True Sight here on the ground. Final set of racks.
So I have Glyph available. And Morph was able to take bottom lane all by himself.
Yeah, he's definitely putting quite a bit of, definitely does quite a bit of tower damage here, so the skeletons now hitting these racks, manages to take one more. Aeon-Disc that Ancient Apparition had did get popped. He's gonna have to pop that Glimmer so that the Morphling Illusions don't take him out. Tusk almost losing the Aegis there. Manages to snowball just in time. And now that we
Last Rex.
Now that we have Reincarnation available again, Wraith King is going to go ahead and keep hitting these racks. Nyx Assassin gets taken down. Wraith King Axe, though, going to continue to provide him the ability to get one last impale off. Disruption goes out here onto the Wraith King. Exorcism is getting popped. Morphling is going to pop that BKB, see if he can fight off, despite the fact that they do have Mega Creeps. Wraith King on the back line once again, picking off the Enigma. Tiny's gonna fall. That's gonna be a die back on him. Wave forming back out to safety onto the Morphling.
They'll have Incarnation and BKB.
Yeah, it's so incredibly difficult for them to fight into this Exorcism still. Managed to kick back the Shadow Demon. They're gonna pick him off. They still have the Aegis available with none of their supports though. Let's see if Block Roar decides to go for tier 4s or not. Waveform to try to get on top of the Wraith King. He's going to Silver's Edge out. Both carries very close to each other and both invisible. Morphling waveforming in, blinking out. Tusk has found himself a haste rune. We do have the Black Hole and BKB available on Enigma now.
Got it.
And Morphling continuing to kind of like cheekily waveform in and blink out. Wraith King manages to get the Abyssal off on him, get the Fire Blast on. Because of that shard, he's able to continue to waveform in, and Keeper of the Light now has Boots of Travel too, so is able to kind of hop right on top of him, TP back in. We have 48 seconds left on Aegis on the Tusk, so I'm not sure that they'll be able to do anything more with that, but
Yeah, Dirk is kind of stuck in their base, having to deal with the Mega. Well, all the lanes are just pushed in.
yeah. Absolutely. Members of KNGI coming in here. Is finally getting onto the high ground on Tusk. Snowballing in, has that Lotus available. They're gonna finally pop the Aegis. He has that BKB upon respawn, is going to pop it, but the Black Hole is gonna come out. That's a lot of damage here from the Morphling. Wraith King trying to take these tier 4 towers down, is gonna manage to grab one. Reincarnation gonna go out. He's gonna pop that BKB, but it's not gonna be enough. He's gonna fall. He's trying to use his Aghanim Illusion to chip down a little bit more on the tier 4s, but I mean, do you think that was worth it for them? Like, they did have the Aegis for like 30 more seconds, but both Wraith King and Tusk died there. I'm not sure if that was worth it on the side of KNGI.
Yeah, because I thought that they're gonna retreat, and then they came back with the last bit of Aegis, where Tusk was alone, and after they take him down, Wraith King was alone hitting T2 by T4 by himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would definitely think that was miscommunication, or I don't know.
Yeah, KNGI is still favored to win now with 71 to 29% win probability, and there's a lot of buybacks in the game. Everyone but Tiny has a buyback available, and now Block Roar seeing if they can potentially get megas of their own. The Glyph is going to go out. Action happening here into the mid lane. The Ant is getting popped by both Ancient Apparition and Enigma. Enigma black holing. The Scythe goes out. Kicked back Morphling. See if they can possibly burst him down. They don't have what it takes, but at least they stop the push.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Coddle playing high ground babysitting duty. He's gonna just have to keep blasting all of these mega creep waves that keep coming in. And it looks like they have the Exorcism, so they're gonna actually go back. I'm not sure if they're actually gonna try a high ground push here, but Exorcism actually just ended.
And they used both buybacks from Tusk and Wraith King for this.
Oh man. Tusk kicking back the Morphling. See if they can get the jump. They have the Impale available. The Ice Blast going out, but the Disruption is not going to keep him alive. They manage to chip him away. Wraith King actually has a Divine Rapier now. Morphling buys back. Enigma buys back. See if they can potentially get anything here in these buybacks. They managed to take down the Tiny, take down the Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon buys back 13k gold lead. KNGI still looking at how to get this last... Oh, the tier 4 actually gets taken down by the skeletons and the mega creeps. All that was happening.
Yeah, and the black hole is on cooldown as well.
We do have Roshan about to respawn in 4 seconds, so KNGI may look to just opt for that. It has the Refresher Shard and the Aghanim's Blessing on it this time.
Well, all of the Roche respawns are just spotted 1 second after it is.
I guess that is the advantage of having Ancient Apparition. You just put a bunch of your ice vortexes in there. So they're gonna pop Exorcism to take this quickly. Block were happy to kind of sit in their base and wait for KNGI to come to them.
Fourth Roche with Aghanimus and Refresher given to DP.
Yeah, especially considering he had to use that Exorcism just now. He does pop that already, has the cheese available too. Still not sure what this Talisman of Evasion, if that was going to get turned into anything or he just wanted the 50% evasion. I'm not really sure, but... And we do have Refresher now on to the Enigma, so he is going to have that Black Hole and BKB up available, since without it he'd have it not for another 40 seconds. They find the jump onto the Tiny, manage to pick him off. Exorcism gets put, the Ancient is now in jeopardy. Scythe goes out here onto the Morphling, into the Ice Blast. It's gonna land. Black Hole going out here onto the Tusk. He has that Aegis available even if he dies here, but the Black Hole's not gonna be enough because you don't have the right clicker behind him. Some tips going out here onto the Enigma. Ancient still getting hit.
Looks like
they managed to pop the Aegis there. The glyph is gonna go out. Morphling trying to right click, is going to get kicked out into the back line. Ancient Apparition disconnecting, but no one's going to pause for him because KNGI is going to take the win there in this first game. So, whew, that was kind of a crazy game.
Yeah, it's definitely a good game to watch.
Yeah.
With how they're going back and forth.
Does Refresher Shard refresh Reincarnation? Yes, it does. So there was, I believe, there was like a... And I think people still run this, but like for a while there was like this cheese strat that you were doing on Wraith King where people would buy like Refresher and then BKB so you could get like an extra life and an extra BKB, but I don't know if that's always the most effective. That I feel like that was more popular when you could have like a backpack Refresher. I feel like that's not a legitimate strat, but... Wraith King busted hero, easy win. Oh my gosh, I knew Haradig would be loving this. Alright, so that was just game number 1, guys, in this best of 3 series. So definitely an exciting game, and I'm looking forward to seeing how KNGI and Blockroar navigate this next game, you know? So,
yeah.
I mean, I think the other crazy thing was that we kind of were talking about like KNGI almost being on a timer in some ways, because you really want to have to fight against a Morphling late game, and they still managed to go into the late game and find ways to deal with him. So, but overall, very close game. 2 highly competitive teams, and excited to see where the next game goes. Alright, we're going to take like a 2-minute break, guys, and when we return, we'll hopefully be starting the draft shortly then for this next game.
No, I feel yes. I don't know what to say.
All right, I'm back. Zoe, are you there?
Yep, I am.
Hello, how you doing?
Good.
Ready to cast
Uh-huh.
game number 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you able to watch? It looks like the second game I think has started. So I'm
Mhm.
watching it from Mantis, but
Yeah, I'm on the waiting screen.
okay, perfect. So, yeah. Well, what did you think of that game number 1? Any thoughts now that you've had a minute or two to reflect?
Yeah, I think that we're actually seeing this Kodo mid being like kind of less of a existence in the mid late game, and and then even though Morph became really strong, all they needed to do, as I said, was to kill the 3 kind of squishy heroes on the back line, which is pretty easy for a Wraith King to do. And yeah, they just left with Morph alone and then figure him out at
5
last.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, it did seem like an incredibly close game, though. So, I
Radiant
mean,
team ban.
is there anything adjustment-wise that you think Block Roar can make here in this drafting phase to mitigate any of the issues from last game?
I think they will probably give up on the Coddle strategy. The
Team ban.
KNGI seems to be dealing with it pretty well because actually, so from the last week's series, they also have a DP against on the other side of the Coddle mid, but that DP didn't go Lotus until very late, where this DP just go Mech and Lotus, and then going back to finish his Greaves. So
Radiant team pick.
as early as his Lotus timing, that was actually very good in preventing Coddle from doing much more work than he should be doing.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was really mitigating the Solar Bind and Spirit Vessel combination, and then Coddle never ended up even getting like the E-Blade Dagon, which is kind of in prior patches when Coddle mid was more of a thing. I feel like that was kind of the build that you would go. Anyway,
Yeah, or Hex.
Yeah, no Scythe either, but I guess that I guess the Lotus was problematic, but also I feel like he had to kind of itemize survivability items. So, all right, the draft is beginning here though for the second game in this best of 3 grand final series for 2DTL between KNGI and Block Roar Esports. So, KNGI sticking with the Death Prophet, actually picking up that Ricky because it didn't get banned out this time. And both teams kind of going quite quickly here in the first pick phase. Seems to have some type of understanding of how they want their draft to go. No Lina. We're not going to see any Lina or Treant. Once again, though, those popular heroes from this meta is going to get banned out. I will say the other cool thing, yeah, I agree with you, MJ. The other cool thing about like saving your pause 4 pick for last is picking up something like the Nyx Assassin. I thought that was certainly such an influential, if not game-winning pick.
10 seconds remaining.
And looks like Block Roar recognizes that as well. Having some targeted bans from the prior draft that seems like they're not going to be able to find answers for, the Tusk getting banned out and that Nyx Assassin.
Well, respect bans for both of their heroes.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Nyx is definitely a respect ban. The Tusk, though, it's like, yeah, just ban that guy out. Ban that hero out because he's just too versatile and the Axe is just too good right now. With this Rubik Beastmaster lineup, do you think that Block Roar is going to be looking for some type of push? Or what do you think they might be doing with this?
So with the Beastmaster push, he's like really strong in the first 20 minutes where they probably want to achieve at least like 2 T1s, and then to minimize the space of KNGI's farming. To use that advantage, not necessarily that they're gonna finish this game as that fast, but to ensure more space for their carry to farm.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, so we're seeing another kind of targeted ban from the prior game, which is the Ancient Apparition, and it's making me think that Block Roar might be looking to pick up the Morphling again, because I don't feel like the Morphling was, I mean, he was outputting quite a bit of damage, and certainly when he was hitting those item timings and joining the fights, having quite a bit of impact. Especially the part of the game when he was like solo pushing the high ground and trying to like bring someone back. He managed to do so much there. So I wonder if these targeted bans kind of letting them carve out space for the Morphling here.
Yeah, and Morphling is after he has Scotty, he's pretty good against bursting Death Prophet as well. Yeah, they ban Morphling.
Yep, KNGI recognizes, hey, these bans look a little sus. We're gonna ban out the Morphling so you can't grab him up. KNGI once again taking some time to think about here what their third pick is going to be. PL, Pango, Brood, all out of the pool. Same with the Sniper. Some of the bans we didn't talk about yet.
Naga is on the table. Ursa is.
Radiant team pick.
Oh.
This is an interesting turn of events. KNGI witnessing that Keeper of the Light didn't exactly work out for Block Roar last game, but thinks potentially they can find an opening for it. Do we think it's going to be a Coddle mid, though? Or do we think that KNGI is picking this up as a support?
I think that they might want to put it on the pause 4 or 5.
Yeah, I mean, if they are running the Death Prophet 3, is Death Prophet kind of a mana-hungry laner? Because I feel like usually you would put the Coddle on someone who's a little bit mana-hungry and also who has a lot of abilities that have longer cooldowns, right?
Yeah, definitely. If Death Prophet main on his Q, then Coddle, it would definitely be a huge advantage for him to just keep casting that spell.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely a good good point, MJ. Coddle providing the opportunity to kind of get rid of Zoo. And Block Roar responding with an Undying and Drow Ranger pick, so
Very strong lane.
yeah, strong lane, and also both Beastmaster and Undying, nice heroes that Drow Ranger can kind of sit behind. The Rubik, once you get the Shard, you can kind of help Drow if she gets gone on, so right now I think they do have a lot of answers in case people go on the back line. And speaking of heroes that can get on the back line, they do pick up the Darkseer on the side of KNGI. That wall can certainly create a strong illusions if they can get on top of the Drow Ranger, but
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, that means we're probably gonna see this Death Prophet on
5 seconds remaining.
mid roll.
right, yeah, it looks like that's gonna be, and I will say Darkseer, like we said, Coddle, if he's gonna go support, he probably wants to go with a hero that's very mana hungry and has long cooldowns on their abilities. And Darkseer, I mean, Ion Shell is pretty short cooldown, but still, he is extremely mana hungry. That hero is, so. A Spirit hero looking nice for Radiant, virtually no stun on Dire. Yeah, I mean, I guess they have Silence from the Death Prophet. They'll get the Shard on Ricky, but that won't be until 15 minutes, so yeah, KNGI really not having... It's kind of interesting because the last draft that KNGI had, pretty much every single hero had a stun, but that was also because Block Roar came out of the bat with an Enigma pick, so I think they were doing that in part to kind of work around that, but...
Radiant
Oh,
team
Bristleback getting banned out here. Do they think that... Okay. It was like, are people still running Bristle Carry? Didn't know if that was still a thing.
No.
It seems like a really random ban, right?
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
Nobody really picks Bristleback on 1 or 3 anymore.
5
The
seconds
only
remaining.
game I've even recently seen it on was like BSJ picked up Bristleback Carry, and I feel like that's a Div 2 like DPC team that BSJ is on is a little bit random. Not really the most meta of things. Anyway, Wraithking getting banned out. So yeah, I mean, pretty much every single hero that KNGI drafted last game has gotten banned out in this Captain's Mode phase here from Block Roar, so.
10 seconds remaining.
Yep, the Ember ban as well, and
5
the
seconds remaining.
Batrider seems like it's having kind of a resurgence right now as this patch has continued. And I think they're also just trying to like protect the Drow Ranger. Any guesses here for the final picks?
A mid hero.
Dire team pick.
That's wouldn't have guessed that one.
Oh, they have the Kunkka, okay. Alright, if you guys... Alright, final pick here from KNGI to complete this second game phase of drafting. And I did give you all your points back from last game. If you'd like to predict for who you think is going to win this next game, yeah, you have about 10 minutes to do so. You can wait and see this final pick if you'd like. MJ thinks it's going to be an SF. Interesting. KNGI going for the Bloodseeker here. All right, Zoe, what do we think about these? What do we think about these drafts?
This game draft, I like the Block Wars better. They seem to be doing a good job of protecting draw and making spaces with Beastmaster.
Absolutely.
And on the other hand, KNGI do have a strong team fight ability with wall, vacuum wall, and axle.
Do you feel like KNGI's team fight is kind of guaranteed, or are they gonna have to, because I almost feel like there's several things that kind of need to happen for their team fight to be successful. Like, I don't know how straightforward it is, so I'm kind of almost leaning on the side of Block Roar because I feel like they can play the game in multiple ways. Like, they can potentially play a little bit of the pushing game, early game with the Beastmaster. Like, they can get pickoffs with the X marks. Any of the big ultimates, people are going to have to be careful to not give to Rubik. You hate Ricky. Do you hate him as a hero, or you hate him in this draft? What do you mean by that? I'm just reading chat. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go for Block Roar in the second game. I think Block Roar is gonna take this one, and I think it's gonna go to a game number 3. But stay tuned and find out. All right, 5-man smoke on both sides coming right off the bat. We talked about it a little bit last game, but let's talk about it this game. Who do we think has... is there any first blood potential on either of these teams?
Yeah, I think KNGI side have more kill potential this time.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
And there's already some convergence happening here into that top rune. Smokes are breaking. Early wards being placed. Sides of KNGI all behind this Roche pit. And Block Roar is backing up.
30 seconds to battle.
A random tip onto the Beastmaster. Not sure what that's about. And Beastmaster doing this this mango build we've been seeing quite a bit of in like high MMR Dota. He just starts with 5 mangoes, gives so much health regen.
Yeah.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
And with Ricky on pause 4, the Caldo is actually...
Blood right going out here. Will silence the Rubik, getting quite low with that Ion Shell. Darkseer taking the first blood there. Rubik TPing back into lane here. Pull up the last hits and denies for y'all. Darkseer taking quite a bit of damage. Getting bodied here by this Undying.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And looks like Ricky's going to go ahead and cut the creep wave. Because I think they recognize that this Drow Undying is going to be a little bit difficult for them to have to play into. So I think he's going to aggro this second wave as well of creeps. They're coming in here. Has the boots, has that movement speed to be able to do so.
It's always fun to see these two supports dragging the wave around.
I know, right? Absolutely. Bluesman, what's going on? Hello, hello. And this is quite the interesting spot that the creep wave has now fallen into. I think if you're on the side of KNGI, this isn't exactly what you wanted. But nice kind of response there on the side of Undying. Oh, quite a bit of damage here on the Blink Strikes onto this Drow. Does have the stick charges available. Is going to have to level up that Gust level 2 to survive there. And that, folks, is why you hold your skill points at times.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Yeah, KNGI would love to see this creep waves going to tower and pushing so that they could actually get some XP out of this.
Oh, first tombstone of the game coming down. Darkseer and Ricky focusing it, managing to take it down, but Ricky getting awfully low, has the Ion Shell on him, is going to try to run away to safety. We have the boots showing that extra movement speed, almost gets taken down there. Is going to have that stick coming out there though now, so definitely necessary against the Undying blasts. 1 HP, I know, I know. We focused a lot here in this bottom lane though. Both of the mid laners have their bottles out. Are pretty even here in terms of the net worth. And it really seems like that bottom lane, the most action is happening. Undying continue to body. Ricky trying to micro that courier. It's gonna fall.
Has been killed.
Fortunately, he did get his stick delivered to him first, though, so he at least has that, and the Tango's some regen there for him.
Dire's structures are
Undying too
fortified.
strong early, laning stage, that's true. The other thing I was thinking about in this, you know, Undying is still quite a strong hero, but I think with the Lina domination in this patch, we haven't seen him quite as much. But in these captain's mode situations, when you first ban Lina, you actually have the option to pick up such a strong laner like an Undying.
Yeah, especially with all the range heroes that are in this patch, they would want like a melee support to just go on people and give spaces for them to do as much damage as possible and harass on the laning stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Vacuum back into silence. Thompson up.
Beastmaster kind of going for this Wild Axes build. Seems like that's what he's maxing.
Yeah, still has 5 mangoes, but get his Helm of Iron Will.
He has 5 mangoes, a ring, and a clarity. Like, he's not going to be lacking in mana at all. Blood Rate goes out. Rubik gets silenced, but they don't have the follow-up. Still some more action happening on here in the bottom lane. Ricky puts that Blink Strike out, tries to get on top of the Drow. The Gust will stop him from going further.
Well, the bottom lane is definitely going better for KNGI than we imagined, with all the works that they put on into
Dire are
messing
scattered.
around with the lanes.
Oh, and they actually scan. They find where the
Radiant's
Ricky
bottom
is.
tower is under
Kanka was
attack.
coming here to check for the rune. Do a little bit of farming before he goes back to the mid lane here.
6 minutes in, Rubik's on top, waiting for the rune to spawn.
Spawns
But
bottom.
DP
Yeah,
bottom,
DP grabs
bottom.
it. And
Very low, Ricky.
yeah, Ricky gets blasted down here. Siphon goes out here onto the Undying. He's gonna TP out. Doesn't really have mana anyway. DP though, now that Undying's TP'd out, they might have an opening to get on top of this Drow Ranger. They do have the Exorcism available on the Death Prophet. Drow being quite patient here, just sitting in the trees. I think they know Death Prophet's missing from the mid lane.
Dire's
Ricky's
middle
now
tower is
respawned,
under
so looks like they actually are gonna take this bottom tower. Rubik
Two TPs
coming in
coming.
to respawn, or coming in to respond to this. So is Kunkka. Ship goes out. Exorcism continuing. Tricks of the trade. They're going to push the Rubik back. Blink Strike onto the Rubik. It's not going to be enough damage, and Ricky's actually going to fall. Exorcism isn't going to be able to heal the Death Prophet up in time. They do have the burst damage. Some nice TPs there on the side of Block Roar. Meanwhile, I mean, I will say when you look at the net worths, like Bloodseeker is happily kind of farming almost uncontested in this lane. He just got that javelin, he's working on his maelstrom. Just hit his level 6, but I think both Beastmaster and Bloodseeker kind of need a couple rotations to be able to kill the other person,
Radiant's middle
even with their
tower is
ultimates,
under
so.
attack.
Very good.
Some stacks getting created here. Into the dire jungle. The support's happy to kind of sit mid and soak some XP, working their way on their 6s. Kunkka coming here into the mid lane.
Let's take her TP bottom to try to use this rupture.
Yeah, we still don't have the wall available on Darks here, but Drow Ranger knows that there's a bit of a threat here, so does
Dire's
TP
top
out to
tower is
safety.
under attack.
Undying
Dire's
puts the
structures
tombstone
are
out. Does have a TP of his own, but see if he can potentially defend against this push.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Ricky trying to see if he can find anyone in the trees here. Is just going to focus on the
Radiant
tombstone. Glyph
structures
goes
are
out.
fortified.
And Ricky being sped up here as Undying's juking in the trees.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Dyer actually took the T1
Are scanning.
earlier than they did.
Yeah,
Radiant's
they're
middle tower
spending
is
a
under
lot of
attack.
heroes down here to try to kill this Undying.
Yeah,
And he's
that's
managed
definitely
to,
space
to live for quite a
created.
while. Is he going to get the deny after the tower? Nope. Bloodseeker will get that kill. Death Prophet has now joined them with Exorcism. They're finally going to take this
Radiant's
tower.
bottom
And
tower
as Zoe
is under
mentioned,
attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
now both tier 1s have been taken down. The vision from the Hawk lets them see Coddle. The roar goes out. Drow Ranger here to back up, provide a little bit of damage and secure that kill. With the remaining few seconds on Exorcism, DP puts a little pressure on the mid tower, which is about halfway down now. And Darkseer actually not getting Wall of Replica at level 6 yet, so looks like he's trying to max out that Ion Shell first.
Yeah, he's still saving the point.
Bloodseeker has the Maelstrom, going for the BKB next. Undying has once again come down into this bottom lane. Still trying to soak some XP to get his 6. And
Dire's
some
top
action
tower
might be
is
happening
under
mid.
attack.
4 heroes on the side of KNGI, quite close to the mid lane. See if they can chip down this last little bit of the tower, but Rubik does have that 6 now.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
All the supports are starting to get their level 6s. And Beastmaster kind of happy to farm this top jungle area, put some pressure on the tier 2, since he does have the Helm of the Dominator completed.
Delusion.
Yeah, they just exchanged their side of the map where Beastmaster is happily playing toward the other's tier 2, where Darkseer is as well.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are really kind of focusing on, I guess, item timings. Double damage spawning here in the bottom lane. We do have, you know, some of these ultimates up again. We have the Roar available. And Undying is kind of met up with the Beastmaster. See if they can put some pressure up here. Death Prophet coming up
Dire's
into the
middle
jungle.
tower is under attack.
They They have
Yeah,
some vision up
Kodo
here now.
Step lively.
actually has 2,000 gold. He
Rupture
has yet
going
to
out.
spend.
He's trying to TP out to safety, manages to get the TP out. Throws a little alt chat line too. And he actually X-marked himself while doing that, so he's able to come back into the mid lane. Exorcism goes out. KNGI trying to chip down the last bit of this mid tower. Glyph is going to go out. Rubik's TPing in to help defend. Ricky, though, here on the back line, providing that vision. Blink striking on top. Kunkka popping that double damage for a few more seconds. And looks like KNGI are going to back off for now, as Block Roar has rotated several more heroes. Dark's here, running away, trying to not get X-marked here. His courier is going to fall for that, which is most of his mechanism. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Ricky does fall to the Rubik.
Yeah, Kodo still has 2,000 down himself that he didn't spend. I guess he wanted to go like a mech build, but then they have the Darks here to do that, so I'm curious on what he wanted to build.
Right, I'm almost wondering, like, do you just go 4-staff Ags at this point? I'm not sure what the game exactly requires, but
Yeah, I think more staff would definitely be good. I mean, more people has been building like mech on Kodo, but Darkseer took that from him, so
right.
or Lotus could be good this game. Yeah, he bought more
Ricky
stuff.
hunting down this Kunkka, and Kunkka knows because of the ion shell damage. He's gonna throw out the high five here as he meets up with the rest of the team. The X-Mark comes out into the Coddle Blast, the Blood Right, and that damage from the Drow.
Oh, he could have used the tricks of the trade to dodge the Torrent and the X-Mark. I didn't know why he didn't do it there.
Yeah. I will say, we're hitting that 15-minute mark. Dark's here about to get the mechanism out, and Ricky very close to that Aghanim shard, so a little bit of a scuffle happening here in the mid lane. Block Roar able to take the mid tower, and they're actually heading right into the Roshan pit. Have the tombstone down. But the other team is quite aware. Exorcism not getting popped. Wall is going to go down. DP is going to fall. Actually, buys back in the game. They don't want to give up this first Roshan. Triple man smoke coming out here onto the side of KNGI. They catch out Keeper of the Light, though. But they continue to look to see if they can catch off this Drow. Blood Right goes out. Exorcism, it's a lot of damage. Drow's trying to right-click into the vacuum. That will secure the kill. Kunkka's trying to TP out, but they have no way of stopping it. But I think at least with that death of Drow Ranger, Block Roar unable to complete this Roshan.
Lively now. Your admiral is on board.
Death Prophet, though, going to have to play quite safe here, since that is going to be dieback if they fall.
Well, I don't know if this buyback is worth it. They did manage to stop Radiant from getting that Roche, but they can do it either
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah, it is interesting because it is the first Roche of the game, so sometimes you see teams play that differently, but interesting that they committed the buyback there. And I feel like Death Prophet was kind of close to Kunkka, but you know, Kunkka can definitely farm quicker.
Yeah, and the only way they could interrupt a TP is vacuum, which is like 50 seconds cooldown, but now they do have the shard on Ricky.
Right. Yeah, so now that they have the sleeping dart, will be interesting to kind of see the setup and combinations that happen. Once again, Block Roar back in the pit. KNGI put the wall down. Undying gonna walk through that. Ricky providing some vision here. The Roar comes out onto the Death Prophet, and that's actually going to be a die back there.
Buyback
Onto KNGI. Roshan about halfway down. Looks like Block Roar are going to wait for this wall to kind of end and then chip back down on this Roshan.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
I mean, this has been like a 3-minute fight at this point.
Yeah.
They really want this Roshan, but it's so hard because they don't really have like a ton of damage yet, so it takes them a while to chip down on this.
Yeah, for them, they just needed like Beastmaster creeps aura and the tombstone, but for the Dire to contend, they need much more than that.
Right. We also have the shard on Rubik. He's going to try to get some initiation. Actually gets vacuumed up here onto the cliff, and he's going to fall because of that. They managed to pop the Aegis immediately, though, here onto the back line. Do they have the follow-up, though, for Drow? Ricky doesn't have that Sleeping Dart for another second. Is going to throw the Silence down. Is trying to run away to safety, but is dusted and is going to fall. I mean, the one thing I will say, Nameless, who played the Nyx Assassin last game, is playing the Ricky now, loves to play these kind of elusive pause 4s that make you run around a lot to kill them. It's like, okay, yeah, you killed me, but I wasted like 30 seconds to a minute of your time and a bunch of your resources to do so. It's kind of fun to see.
Yeah. They actually serve similar purposes on those two heroes.
Yeah, it definitely fits kind of that play style. Thank you for hanging out with us, MJ. Have a good night. We'll catch you later. And they don't
So
have Aegis anymore, but looks like with this Beastmaster potential to push, has the Helm of the Overlord completed in that Ancient Creep, forcing out the glyph here from KNGI.
Dire's top tower is under
For the KNGI teammates are up here to try to defend this tier 2. It's gonna fall though. Sleeping Dart comes out here onto the Drow.
Yeah, the Illuminate has been effective in killing the hogs in the trees.
Oh yeah, that's a good point actually.
Couldn't contend for this T2.
We do have the 9-second Black King bar now available onto Kunkka. 5-man smoke coming out here from KNGI. Double damage has spawned into the bottom lane. They know because they have vision on top of that, and they're going to give that to the Bloodseeker, who has he's working on his Yasha, his Manta. Sleeping Dart goes out here onto the Kunkka, into the Rupture. He's going to TP out, BKB TP out to safety. But Drow putting out quite a bit of damage, does have that shard now available. Spirit Siphon onto the Rubik. He's going to fall. Roar goes out onto Death Prophet with this Exorcism. It's a lot of damage though. BKB gets popped here onto the Bloodseeker. Ship goes out. The drums to try to escape to safety. Vacuum on both the Drow and the Beastmaster. And they're going to go ahead and throw out some tips on the Drow.
Yeah, Draw actually missed his gust on Darkseer. That's why he was constantly being able. I mean, Darkseer was able to use like Surge and whatever to like keep chasing him down.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Oh, I
is
see.
under
Yeah,
attack.
I mean that was quite the vacuum finish there, though.
Yeah, that's a good vacuum.
And that will get Darkseer pretty close now to his blink timing.
Despite DP's early diebacks, her net worth is catching up with Kunkka.
Yeah, it certainly is, and Bloodseeker kind of happy to stay in this top net worth spot. I mean, that was the thing. I think last game, you know, KNGI's carry was top net worth for most of the game. So the man certainly knows how to farm. I'll give him that. Block
Yeah, and
Roar
he had a
in
pretty
the
happy lane.
Sorry, go ahead.
He had a pretty happy lane top.
Oh yeah, that is true. He was pretty unbothered for the
Dire's
most
bottom
part.
tower is under
Yeah.
attack.
Nameless putting some deep wards here into the Radiant Triangle.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
And managing to pick off the courier, so they should know that he's there, but do they have the detection to find him?
Step lively now.
More couriers coming. Oh, didn't
It's-
get the.
They're pinging him out. It's the courier massacre. He's gonna tricks of the trade. Dusk does go out, and they manage to actually use the Rubik shard to stun him. He's gonna silence Tombstone going out. He has the sleeping darts. Rubik, Undying, popping that ult. It's gonna smash him down. Keeping the rest of the couriers safe.
Radiant's middle tower is
Death
under
Prophet has
attack.
found an Invis rune and a Drow Ranger here. Keeper of the Light popping that ult, but with a tier 2 for Drow to back under. And some other teammates rotating over. Looks like KNGI will back up for now. Meanwhile, here in the mid lane, X marks the spot, does go out. Coddle has the Glimmer available, but it's not going to be enough. It's going to get taken
Dire's
down.
middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, DP really wants his BKB timing to be able to participate in the next team fight, but Blocker is not giving them the time to farm it.
No, they are not.
Dire's structures
We also
are
have this,
fortified.
Glyph goes out here onto the tier 2. We have the shard now available onto Kunkka. Tidal Wave. X marks the spot, goes out onto the Death Prophet. Exorcism gets popped, Sleeping Dart onto the Kunkka.
Tower is under attack.
Oh, got stolen by Rubik, the Exo.
Oh, the dueling Exos here.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Can't really chase.
Kunkka finds the regen rune. Just gonna go ahead and TP to clear top, so it looks like Block Roar not looking to fight at the moment. Kunkka has that blink and stash.
Pretty much just use this Exo to farm his BKB.
What's up, Mark? How are you doing? How are you doing? That command is for my MMR, not for the MMR in the game. I think if you do this one, it
Radiant's bottom
shows...
tower
Yep,
is under
this is
attack.
who's in this game. So, a lot better players than me, but still fun to watch and commentate on. So, 5-man smoke coming out here onto the side of Block Roar. And KNGI back in the other side of the map.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
See if they can catch anyone out here. Using the drums into the roar. Tombstone goes down. Death Prophet.
Nice force save by Coddle.
Yeah, nice glimmer and force F there. Rupture going out here onto the Kunkka. He's
Oh,
just gonna sit
Rubik
here into the
actually got the-
trees.
Rubik
Yeah,
actually got
Rubik's
the
stealing
rupture.
some nice spells here, actually. Nameless getting some vision here on the back, has that sleeping dart available. Drow Rangers now joined to the rest of the team. They find an X marks the spot. The torrent isn't going to land. Nice vacuum here into the wall of Replica. Rubik is going to get taken down in that interaction. Kunkka popping the BKB. Can they get the Ricky here on the back line? Sleeping Dart onto the Drow. Do they have any backup? Bloodseeker here with the BKB, with the Blood Right, trying to chip down on this Drow Ranger, is going to manage to get on top of her. Now they have their eyes set here onto the Undying. Solarbind goes out into the silence. Both those kills onto the Bloodseeker. So that's going to provide
Dire are scanning.
about a 5k gold lead here on the side of KNGI. We do now have the Black King bar available on Death Prophet.
Radiant's
Have the
middle
Exorcism,
tower is under
KNGI
attack.
making their way toward the tier 2 in the bottom lane. Exorcism is going to get popped with this catapult wave. This is a 7k gold lead.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Glyph
Radiant's
does go
structures
out.
are fortified.
Doesn't look like Blockroar is ready to advance just yet, but with the respawns of Undying and Drow Ranger, getting some TPs down here. Tombstone's gonna go out. BKB getting popped by Death Prophet. Silence going out here onto the Undying. Blood Right going out. And looks like they're happy to back up after forcing all of these rotations. Chipped away quite well on the tower.
Yeah. Looking for the win probability. At some point, Blockroar had 63%. Now it's 63% back.
Wall of Replica going down. Rupture onto the Kunkka. Popping that BKB is going to TP out to safety. Rubik getting very low, but do they have the damage to kill him? They do not. He manages to get the counter kill here onto the Ricky. Bloodseeker getting very low. Gets chain stunned and is not able to get that BKB off. X Marks goes down here onto the Darkseer. Blockroar finding a way to turn this fight. The vacuum up onto the high ground. That's the second time this game someone's gotten vacuumed up onto a cliff. And that's nearly a team wipe for Blockroar. So
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
the only man standing, the Death Prophet. He's gonna go ahead and back up. They do have the X marks available, and they managed to find him with the torrent. They're gonna chip him down. Blockroar finding a way to turn this 8K gold lead into a 2K.
Oh, now they discovered that the Roche is back up.
Yeah, this is gonna be the second Roshan of the game. It's got the shard on it. They'll certainly take it way quicker than they did the prior one. And we have a double damage as well on the Drow Ranger.
Draw and Kongawa both bought early shards, so this one is for
To the radiant.
Yeah, maybe the
Beastmaster.
Yep, looks like they're giving that to the Beastmaster. Gonna provide that call, the Wild Hawk and the dive bomb.
Radiant's
Undying trying to do a little bit dewarding action here. Coddle trying to defend this ward. Same with Ricky putting that sleeping dart out. Rubik actually stealing the sleeping dart into the roar. And we're gonna take him down. Really some nice steals here from the Rubik.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Yeah.
under attack.
We have the Silver's Edge now completed on Drow Ranger. Going for Lincolns, I feel like this Drow Ranger definitely is itemizing very defensively, like Hurricane Pike, Silver's Edge, Lincolns, like understanding all of the potential ways they can get on top of her or can do damage to her and trying to itemize against that.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Glyph goes out as Blockroar trying to push this high ground with the Tombstone.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
And they managed to break the high ground this time.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Chipping away now at the racks.
Top barracks.
Coddle trying to blast
Oh.
off this. So they managed to
James
torrent the Bloodseeker out of the base, but he does get that BKB off just in time.
The Glimmer.
And the Glimmer
saved him.
save, yeah. Really nice saves here from this Keeper of the Light. Kunkka gets ruptured, is going to TP out. He's X-marked though, so he's back in the fight. And with 3 more minutes left on the Roche timing, or with Aegis, they're going to continue to chip away here at this Rax. Exorcism available now into the BKB. They've dusted this Drow Ranger.
Vacuum from both
Vacuum.
sides.
No wall yet. Drow's second life respawns, does manage to take the Keeper of the Light down. Death Prophet has that X marks. They managed to get a Sleeping Dart into Blood Rite combo here onto the Drow Ranger, but she's going to Shadow Blade out to safety. And they're going to be able to continue to turn this fight. Keeper of the Light buying back. Roar goes out onto the Death Prophet. They manage to secure that kill. Bloodseeker trying to get on top of the Drow, does manage to do so. And they might just be turning this with the Ion Shell. And as fast as this Bloodseeker is going, he's chipping away at this Undying and manages to get that kill. So you're fully able to kind of defend this final Rax here on the top side and get nearly a
Yeah.
team wipe. So
They didn't get the melee creep, so
yeah, that one's gonna heal, and Another just very close game. I mean, both of these teams are just very competitive against each other. We have the Manta completed on Bloodseeker and the Glepner. He's actually going for the Shard next, and a Lincoln's of his own.
And the 2 times the draw forced herself was on the wrong direction, like back into the heroes of the other team.
Oh no. We do have Blink also available on Death Prophet. Now, about what timing would you say that Beastmaster's push potential falls off a bit?
I think that the Aura and the Ancient Black Dragon are like super strong, even if like he can really like solo push out the lanes and like be able to survive that, but playing with the team he still has more functionalities. Just not as strong as like
wait
before
a second.
5 minutes.
I'm confused. What is happening? Okay, because I thought that Kunkka was going Assault Curios, and then I looked at Beastmaster's items, and it also looks like he's going Assault Curios.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe a slight miscommunication on the teams, because now he's opted to go Blink instead. Oh, he just did get his Assault Curios. So what is this Hyperstone Plate Mail combo happening?
Definitely might be a miscommunication between the team.
Oh no, there's 2 Assault Curioses. Unless they're trying to like push opposite lanes?
Not really.
Anyway,
Oh,
4-man smoke coming out here on the side of KNGI. Smoke breaks onto the
has-
Beastmaster. The torrent going out here, but the Glepner into the vacuum, and Coddle actually has completed that Aghanim Scepter now. Kunkka once again getting ruptured, but does manage to get the BKB TPX marks off, and unfortunately Bloodseeker doesn't have any bash available, but speaking of Bloodseeker, he's now on top of the Drow. Glepner into the Blood Right, and does get the bashes there. Now the last man in the middle of the fight here is this Undying, who will be dying. I mean, I think this Will-O-Wisp did so much for them in that fight. Kunkka had, you know, BKB during that, but I think I've noticed a pattern here. They're rupturing pretty much only the Kunkka. I don't think I've seen anyone else ruptured in this whole game.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they're doing it for the sole purpose not to kill him, but to force him to, like, TPX marks. And just get him out of the fight for, like, 5 seconds, which gives them the ability to get on top of this Drow Ranger within that time.
Yeah.
So.
And Bloodseeker has definitely doing a successful job in getting onto Drow Ranger every team fight that we're seeing.
Absolutely. Kunkka going for this Ags next, which as these towers are starting to get pushed, will certainly be helpful. Another double damage actually spawning. I think this is like the 3rd or 4th one this game. Roshan is going to be respawning in 1 minute. It will be the 3rd Roshan of the game when that happens. Bloodseeker picking up that double damage. Oh, nice Hurricane Pike off of that Will-O-Wisp and before the out of the way of the wall illusion.
Knowing that Darkseer doesn't have wall, they deordered the triangle to try to fight this.
Yeah, they certainly might have an opening here. X marks into the shift. They take down the Darkseer. Exorcism getting popped, but the rest of KNGI looking to back. Keeper of the Light not managing to get back just in time, though. Ricky TP's out to safety.
This Gem of True Sight on the Beastmaster, they're gonna take their vision back as well as make Riki harder to do whatever he wants to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Ricky has now picked up a Yule Scepter, so that can help him with against the dust, but really can't do much against the Gem of True Sight. So we see members of Block Roar making their way toward the high ground potentially, with a couple more seconds till Darkseer respawns. See if they can at least push this wave in,
Dire are scanning.
since they know Roshan's about to respawn in 30 seconds.
Despite the 6k net worth lead, Dota Plus is giving 62% win probability to the Radiant side.
Yeah, that is interesting. I guess that last fight definitely was quite impactful for them, especially considering all those kills went on the Drow Ranger.
Yeah.
I mean, I think also both teams have a lot of potential to poke. Oh, Roar actually going out into the vacuum, into the wall. Kunkka popping that BKB, Rupture goes out. The boat will land onto Darkseer. He's gonna speed away to safety. Exorcism getting popped here onto the back line. The Ruptured Rubik will fall, Undying will fall. Drow Ranger though, Bloodseeker once again focusing, gets on top of her, gets the bash, but the Sleeping Dart won't be able to go out because of the Lincoln Sphere. However, they have Dust when she pops the Silver's Edge. They're gonna look inside the Roshan Pit, which has respawned. This one's gonna have a Refresher Shard. I imagine they'll give that to either the Death Prophet or the Darkseer. Actually, they have a lot of good Refresher Shard carriers in this game, because you could also give it to the Bloodseeker, get BKB and the additional Rupture charge. So let's see what they end up choosing here. But I'm guessing probably the DP or the Darkseer.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, three. It's actually super good on all three of them. Yeah, they gave it on to DP.
I guess they're quite keen on getting that additional tower push going here, and also I've noticed kind of this pattern, like you use Exorcism so you can take Roshan very quickly, and then you have to either wait for 100 seconds for it to come back up, or you can just give DP the refresher and keep the pressure up essentially. So
Yeah.
oh, Roar being used here in the bottom lane onto the Darkseer, has that Lotus available. They do manage to take the bottom tower before he can get any backup, but let's see if KNGI can find anyone to catch out. Gleipnir going out here, and the Rupture onto the Undying. He's gonna get Lotused and TP out to safety. The rest of his teammates trying to TP out. They don't have vision of the Rubik. Kunkka's able to just, or excuse me, Beastmaster is able to just use a drum's charge and get away. Tier 4 neutrals coming out here. X-Mark's going out here onto the Coddle, but he's going to use that Will-O-Wisp. The Tombstone getting put up here onto this cliff, providing all of that vision for them. Rupture once again going out here onto the Undying. He's going to walk away for a bit, but get vacuumed back in. Puts the Lotus, tries to heal himself up, but the Ion Shell and the sped up Bloodseeker is not going to make him able to survive that. Abyssal Blade now finished on Bloodseeker. 3 more minutes onto the Aegis.
Ninja Gear give him the extra movement speed he would need since he has his face boots in the back.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Oh, TP not in time to make Beastmaster stay.
Yeah. Looks like they're not actually going to be able to push high ground just yet because of that Keeper of the Light pickoff.
Your admiral is on board.
And we do have the Heart of Tarask now completed on Death Prophet, which can potentially help her outlive all of the burst damage that's been coming, so she can heal up with Exorcism.
And her plate mail is in backpack. It's like the last game with talisman in backpack.
I know, there's these random items.
Sheets to the wind.
I don't know if we're gonna get the opportunity to interview anyone. Like some of the series I've casted, we've like interviewed people. Oh, they managed to take down the Kunkka here. But if we did get the chance, I would be like, why 2 ACs? Why this random talesman? What is happening here? So. Now that the entirety of KNGI has respawned, they're going to use that refresher shard to get on top of the high ground here. Will-O-Wisp coming out, Roar onto the DP, has that BKB. The Heart really keeping her alive for now, but that damage that Drow's outputting, it's not going to be enough. Darkseer eats the cheese, trying to stay alive. But with this Kunkka Ags, they have so much control. Bloodseeker getting that second life, doesn't have the BKB available, and is gonna fall. So successful high ground defense from the side of Block Roar. What do you think went wrong in that fight?
I think the instant that so first of all, they should be expecting that the Kunkka has a buyback, right? So they don't really want to place themselves in a place where they might get like axed by Kunkka. But then like when Kunkka bought back and TP down, they're already kind of like deep in there. That makes them like unable to get out.
Absolutely. And Block Roar finding this opening to start pushing high ground themselves. The 2 supports trying to just grab the creep wave and throw out some sleeping darts. Glyph goes out.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They managed to take down the high ground, or the tier 3 tower in the mid lane here.
Dire's top barracks are under attack. Dire's middle barracks is falling. Dire's top barracks is falling.
And now that they've taken mid lane racks and that final racks on top, looks like they were about to back, but they kind of double back
Yep.
there, tricking the Ricky there and grabbing it. Also, Rubik had the Will-O-Wisp, so they were able to kind of catch him out using that ability. And now they're pushing tier 4s. Bloodseeker's up in 1 second.
Ricky doesn't have buyback.
He uses that ninja gear to try to get on top of the back line. Puts the Rupture out onto the Beastmasters. Trying to get on top of Drow. Or excuse me.
Doesn't bash.
Oh
Doesn't
my
bash.
gosh, no bash. That's very unlucky. RNG just not on KNGI's side. Kunkka though, still stuck on the high ground. Doesn't have a TP available. That is going to be a dieback on Kunkka, so. And we now have the normal punch available from Darkseer.
That was like 8 or 9 hits without a single bash. I can't believe it.
Like, next fight, Dota is going to have to give this man, like, every hit is going to have to be a bash to even that one out. I don't know. I don't know. We have a double damage here on Bloodseeker. He now has the blink available. He's going for the swift blink. But everyone on the side of Block Roar is quite disciplined, waiting the respawn of their mid laner.
Especially that
Is under attack.
Bloodseeker doesn't have buyback. And doesn't really want to put himself in a situation where if they lose this team might fight, they might actually lose the game.
Absolutely. I mean, we do have Roshan coming up here in 48 seconds. We already have the Hawk scoping out the area. So Block Roar will certainly know when that happens. KNGI happy to just kind of push out some of these waves. Block Roar looking to take back their triangle. Beastmaster still has that gem. Get vision of the cliff and such. So that's actually an interesting like random interaction. But so if you put a sentry down and you deward, but you use the vision from the gem, whoever put the sentry still gets the gold for the. Because it gave the gold to the Rubik who put the sentry down, not to the Beastmaster who put the gem down.
Yeah, so it depends on if the sentry is put down. So when the sentry is put down, if the gem carrier is not in the range of like spotting the ward, it goes to like the first one who gives like either the sentry or like the gem.
Oh, okay, it's like prioritized that way. Interesting. Anyway, Kunkka coming in here. Wall goes out. They actually have a scythe reveal now onto the Death Prophet. Once the scythe is over, Kunkka's gonna pop that BKB though. On the back lines, Undying and Beastmaster falling. Beastmaster buying back here. Exorcism about to end, but it's not gonna heal him up in time, so Death Prophet's gonna fall. Drow also securing the kill here onto the Riki.
Roche just respawned. The DP still has buyback.
Right. Yeah, we have buyback on Keeper of the Light and Darkseer as well, so they might look to make some aggressive play. This has the Aghanim's Blessing and the Refresher Shard, so quite the chunky Roshan. And they're just melting it. They're gonna give the Blessing to Drow Ranger. Give that marksmanship splintering. And they
Refresher
gave
onto the Beastmaster.
Oh, okay.
The twins.
This Bloodseeker has just not saving buybacks at all. Kind of makes me nervous.
Bloodseeker is really just saying YOLO out here.
Yeah. He just buys out the Swift Blink. And now he still needs 2k6 more for his buyback. What else did he buy? Oh, the Refresher or Recipe. Okay.
That is interesting.
My blood runs.
Block Roar, 4-man smoke with the Aegis. Going into the triangle on the side of KNGI. Riki positioning here to break the smoke. Does manage to do so. Kato though gets sight into the stolen sleeping dart. A beautiful wall into the vacuum. Drow and Kunkka popping those BKBs. Drow taking down the Darkseer there. Rupture on the Undying. They're gonna stand still for a bit, waiting for these creeps. He actually walked through the wall in Beastmaster.
DP also just bought out the size so that DP doesn't have a buyback either.
Buybacks though here onto the Riki and to the Darkseer. Double catapult wave into this bottom tower. If Block Roar manages to take this set of racks, it's gonna be mega creeps for them. 3 more minutes here onto this Aegis. Blood Rite going down, Glyph goes out. Rubik actually making some cheeky plays out here. Bloodseeker pops the BKB, is on top of the supports. That Tombstone going down though with that talent. Drow Ranger trying to right click and burst this DP down, does manage to do so. The only person in this game with buyback is the Drow Ranger. No one on the side of KNGI has it. And KNGI is going to call GG there, which means, folks, this is going to go to a game 3. So, what's up, Mr. Javaharian? How are you doing? How are you doing? We're doing a little bit of casting today. Oh, my camera is blurry for some reason. We'll fix that. It's going good. So yeah, you just tuned into an exciting series. This is 2D TL Grand Finals between KNGI and Block Roar. So, and y'all, we're gonna take a couple minute break as the teams are getting ready to head into draft number 3. So yeah, I'll catch you back here in a couple minutes. Hang tight.
Radiant team back.
Alrighty, looks like we are about to get into game number 3's draft. Zoe, are you back?
10 seconds remaining back.
Yep, I actually was muted.
Oh, all good, all good. Thank you, Rafta Style, for the follow. I hope you are having a good Sunday. So yeah, we are. What do you think is gonna happen here in this game 3 draft? Do you think that KNGI is gonna look to bring back some of the heroes from their first game where they did win, or what do you think is gonna unfold here?
Dire team back.
I think that even though like last game I said I like Block Roar's draft better, I didn't think that was a huge draft difference. It's more like both teams did make many mistakes, and but KNGI definitely made more than Block Roar,
10 seconds remaining.
and there was like two big throws, I would have said.
5 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
that actually cost them to lose the game.
Yeah, because I mean, the Bloodseeker was definitely getting on top of the Drow Ranger, and I honestly remember that one team fight where Bloodseeker didn't get any bashes and Drow Ranger was BKB TPing out. I think if they had cut
Yeah.
out the Drow Ranger there, the game would have
Mhm.
gone completely different. That was definitely
Yeah.
one of the defining fights for sure.
Mhm.
We actually, looks like Blockroar has taken a bit of time to think here with this ban. We do have the Lena ban coming out, but I'm curious to see if Tusk is going to be okay. Tusk and Treant Protector are in the pool, folks. And I'm really hoping one of these teams picks these guys up because these are two really fun heroes, personally, for me to watch. But we're just not going to see any Lena gameplay today. So if you all came around to see some Lena gameplay, sorry, you're not going to see it today. Treant Protector getting picked up though, so.
And then did feel like the Riki was not as successful as
10
people would have
seconds
expected in last game.
I like that they drafted the
5 seconds
Rubik and he was able to steal the Sleeping Dart multiple times and kind of
Dire team pick.
use the same strategy in terms of like getting on top or initiating, I guess, through that ability. And then I think once Beastmaster picked up that Gem of True Sight, his game was effectively over. But it was really fun to see what Ricky was doing kind of in the early
10
game and such.
seconds
So
remaining.
Dawnbreaker getting picked up here on the side of Block Roar.
5 seconds remaining.
Where are we kind of seeing Dawnbreaker getting put right now? Because again, a very versatile hero. Are we still seeing like any mid Dawnbreakers, or is this going to be a support? Oh, with the
I
Ember
think
Spirit.
I think it's more likely to be either 3 or 5.
Hmm. And I have noticed that KNGI has banned out Ember in pretty much all of the following games. So
5
I'm
seconds
not super familiar with all of the comfort picks on the side of Block Roar, but it does seem like Ember might have been a comfort pick.
Radiant team banned.
The sack.
Lashrak getting picked up here.
Yeah, I think Ember is definitely one of their mid players' best heroes, and I'm surprised they take that this early, probably to avoid getting banned later.
Right, they're like, we just want to play our comfort heroes, which I think if you're going into a game 3 might not be, go with what you know, right? Keep it simple,
Yeah.
stupid. The next
So how-
assassin getting banned out here, so it looks like,
Dire team banned.
and the
Yeah.
Batrider. I mean, is there any potential this Ember could be going 1? It's probably mid though, right?
Yeah. But I do think that Nyx is one of the heroes that KNGI could pick, but then the 15th is on the Block Roar side, so they definitely don't want it to end up
5
there.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, that's true. The respect ban here on that Dark Seer, so it looks like though Burlock Roar isn't target banning quite as badly. And again, Tusk is still in the pool. So are we about to see some Tusk gameplay, you think?
I think that could be possible, and it's definitely fun to watch with all the plays that could make.
I will say, as like the person who's like trying to like do play-by-play and operate camera, it's like, oh no, where did this hero get kicked to now? I'm like spazzing out the whole time. It's kind of fun, but
Yeah,
it's keeping me on my toes. That's what it's doing, so. Morphling getting banned out. KNGI not wanting to face
10 seconds.
the
remaining.
Block
Dire
Roar
team pick.
Morphling like they did in the first game of the series. And Block Roar actually going for that Ancient Apparition, trying to potentially combat against the Treant Protector heal.
seconds remaining.
Some more targeted bans here on carries. Terrorblade and Medusa getting banned out. Now, I didn't think Medusa was so hot this patch. Why do you think they might have banned out a hero like Medusa?
I think the only thing probably kind of annoying is that if they couldn't like push tower, because right now they have 3 heroes with 0 tower push abilities, and if they couldn't like
Radiant
push
team
tower that fast, it actually give like Medusa a lot of space to like defend high ground and then like getting the items it need, even if it has like a tough early game. Where to the point it's of like 30 to 40 minutes, and then Medusa with like 5 slotted or something, it would be like kind of annoying for them.
Absolutely. How do we feel about picking Enigma into Blockroar's current lineup?
Dawnbreaker would be like a really good counter
Mhm.
early game, up to the point where Enigma has BKB. But then they also has a AA to counter the Lash regen, Trian regen, and possibly like in Enigma out when people are just trying to burst Black Hold.
Right. Yeah, because I'm guessing you are picking the Enigma to kind of deal with the high mobility of Ember remnants and such. But then it does seem like they already have ways of potentially stopping the black hole.
What are we expecting to see here? We need some. Maybe we're expecting a pause 4.
Yeah, with this
As you
Ancient
said.
Apparition pickup, we kind of know now that the Dawnbreaker is going to go 3.
Yeah.
Radiant team ban.
And they're going to go ahead and grab the Chaos Knight. They still don't have, though, like you were saying, they still don't really have tower push, so it seems like Blockroar is waiting to potentially draft a pushing hero for their final pick. I mean, Dawnbreaker core usually does go Desolator, which I suppose can help a bit, but...
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
Snapfire and Drow Ranger getting banned out here of the pool.
Neither team is banning or picking Tusk.
I know.
10 seconds.
My
remaining.
Tusk dreams might be dead.
5 seconds remaining.
I think with Blockroar as well, if you pick one more melee, it's like you have 4 melees in one range. That might be a bit overkill. I'm not sure.
I mean, there are slight chances that the Dawnbreaker could still go pause 4.
Right. It's a little unconventional, but I feel like Dawnbreaker can go wherever. Timbersaw getting banned out here, so it looks like KNGI thinks that Dawnbreaker's gonna go support, banning out a pause 3 hero.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, you don't want a Timber on your
5
Trian lane.
seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Wraith King getting put out of the pool here. Final picks coming out here into game number 3, and I'm sorry guys, I keep forgetting to do the predictions. there we go.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
And a pick for their carry hero.
Yeah, they have quite a bit of reserve time here to mull it over.
I like Ursa pick.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen an Ursa yet in this series, so that could be pretty fun, especially with just early Roche ability and how action-packed that could be. With Ursa, I mean, I guess with the Leshrac, you have ways of clearing the CK illusions, so you might not have that responsibility fall on the pause one, right?
Mm-hmm. And with Enrage, none of the... He's not really scared of like the AA ult or
Dire
Ember.
team pick.
All the
Sven's
picks.
They go for the Sven. Okay, another... We were saying that the illusion clear didn't need to fall on the pause one, but they're like, don't worry, we're going to deal with it anyway. So they have two nice ways of kind of dealing with the illusion clear, and even Tiny Avalanche, I feel like early game can kind of
10
help
seconds
combat against
remaining.
those illusions. So.
Mm-hmm.
Final pick
I
coming
think
out here from
5
Blockroar.
seconds remaining.
KNGI actually
Probably...
played, yeah. Any other series as well?
Oh, and like 2 weeks ago?
Oh no, like this week's other series.
Oh, like earlier today in the tournament. Yeah, yeah.
Choose your hero.
Oh, okay, there's your tower push. I can't say many heroes can and tower push quite like a Nature's Prophet. All right, Zoe, what are we thinking about these drafts? Who do you think is going to take the grand finals?
Let's see. So we actually see the Dawnbreaker on pause 4.
Yeah.
I think I like Blockroar Esports draft better,
Mhm.
given that how they can just kite out the.
10 seconds.
I guess it also depends on how the player is gonna deal with. If they can kite out the Sven's out in BKB, then it's definitely gonna be good for them. But then if you can't, I could see a team fight where Enigma just black hole like 3 people and Sven kill them within the duration.
Absolutely.
But I really like the Nature's hero in this patch.
I do too. It's so good.
Yeah.
And I do feel like on the side of Blockroar, like outside of Nature's Prophet, you do have enough kind of team fight that like hypothetically you could, if you're behind enough, do some type of rat strat, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing Leshrac will pick up a pair of Boots of Travel. I don't know if any of the other cores will, but I think even just the Treant Protector can provide a bit of protection against the Nature's Prophet push, but not really a counter. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll just have to wait and see. And looks like they're bringing out their best heroes, the Grandmaster Leshrac here. So, like we said, the comfort picks are added. I will say in all of these games,
Prepare for battle.
like KNGI is so quick to pop the smoke. I don't know if it's Nameless who's buying these or what, but whoever's buying the smoke is just like, all right, guys, I'm instantly popping this the second we're in game. And you gotta respect that.
They're
What do you-
actually on the
What do you think that like Dawnbreaker 4 can kind of provide in this game? Like, I think we were talking about the Enigma counter, is there any other kind of big responses that the Solar Guardian might be useful for?
30 seconds.
So if you get X, it provides the 60% evasion, which would be good against Sven.
True.
And so there's not much big difference that pause 4 can Dumber can offer aside from pause 5. Mainly just like we're kind of hoping it to get richer and get X on earlier timing, so like kind of provide the evasion to counter the Sven.
Absolutely.
The battle begins.
Bounty's about to spawn. Bounty's still there. Manages to get picked up though. Nature's Prophet taking all that damage. Leshrac gonna snag the kill there. Slightly out of position.
Well, makes him very close to his bottle timing. Probably
Yeah.
after the first wave.
Oh my goodness. Ancient Apparition handing off that sentry before he went to lane 2. Nice support move there.
I would say it's already kind of hard lane for Ember, and after you get bottles so early. Let's see.
Yeah, he's definitely keeping up nice with the Searing Chains though and the harass. I think what would be interesting kind of in this mid lane, well, Ember actually hit his level 2 first as well, so this is definitely going to be an interesting lane to kind of watch out and see. Because Leshrac's going to hit his 6 and can like potentially push tower, but then Ember has the ability of like rotating with a remnant mid to like stop the push, so be interesting to kind of see how that plays out.
Ember also got his bottles. Have more last hits by a little bit.
Yeah, just very slightly leading on the last hits. All lanes seem pretty even yet at this point. Like even in the bottom lane, they're not farming quite as well as other lanes, but they're still even. So, nope, a little scuffle happening here onto the Tiny. He's trying to see if he can get the deny off to the neutral creep. Is not going to be able to. Meanwhile, on the other lane, Sven is going to fall. That is going to provide Enigma with a little bit of solo XP though, so he's able to get that early 3. Dawnbreaker getting the stun off onto the Treant. But with 5 armor, he's a tanky boy. It's going to take a little bit more to make him fall. Oh, Ember getting quite low. Gonna pop that Fairy Fire. Use one of the bottle charges and back off a little bit. Searing Chains does land. Fairy Fire pops into the split earth. Keeping Leshrac alive, but the wave is getting pushed in right before the 4-minute runes. Ancient Apparition getting quite low here in the top lane. Just gonna sit behind this Chaos Knight. Both mid laners managing to get the 4-minute water runes to refill their bottles there.
Both of them really needs a refill.
I know. Enigma getting quite low here in this top lane.
Dire's structures are fortified.
An ancient apparition trying to juke through the trees. I wasn't sure if he's trying to get a tower deny off or what exactly, but Tiny manages to catch him out and punish him for that.
Would that mean a refill for the Ember's bottle?
Right, maybe that's what was happening. I was just gonna say, like, some of these games you do see that. Just like, go feed to the tower so you can give me a refill.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can refill and also like potentially stick around to secure that 6-minute rune, depending on how they time this. So. Cold Feet landing on the Tiny in the top lane, but they don't really have any follow-up. Yeah, A actually didn't refill the bottle, so I'm confused.
Nashuk is just gonna walk back home. And then content for the minute 6 run.
Yeah.
Tiny's
Yeah, it looks like Tiny's rotating here. They're pinging it out. He's gonna stack first. Go to see if it spawns top and get lucky. And it's bottom. Ember has that remnant available, so he's gonna manage to get the regen rune.
The rune of regeneration.
Rolling out.
Ancient Apparition came to swing by to back up Ember here, but is gonna get tossed into the Enigma, into the Eidolons, and is gonna fall.
Why did he turn back to the toss range?
Radiant's top
Not
tower
sure.
is under attack.
It's been a long day of Dota. It's been a long day of Dota. I will say though, like, I mean, Chaos Knight is, you know, getting to farm for the most part during this whole distraction. Split Earth going out onto the Ember Spirit, but we'll be able to remnant away in time. Sven getting a bit low in the bottom lane, but that all this heal from the Tree and Protector, they're not going to be able to bring him down. Dawnbreaker scouting out some of the stacks that they're making for Sven. Yes, this is game 3, Pat. I hope your Assassin's Creed is going well, but stick around, because if it's anything like the prior 2 games, this one's going to be a spicy one. Eight-minute runes spawning here in the next 20 seconds. See which mid laner can come to secure that. Looks like Ember's opting to just refill the bounties up here. I think he thinks maybe they won't anticipate a rotation based on the timing. Tiny stacking some camps here. 2-man smoke on the side of Block Roar. They're pinging out Tiny. Avalanche goes out. Cold Feet is going to land. Chaos Knight here to back up. They had the black hole available, but he gets stunned. Lashrak trying to come to turn this, but he's 1v3ing and actually may fall. Virgil just on the edge of death, and actually that last little burst damage will bring him down as well. Yes, Enigma on game 1 lost. That is accurate. That is accurate. So let's see if this Enigma can can pull through.
And Lesh had a haste room, which makes him think that he's able to fight like 3 heroes at the same time, but he just got instant bursted to death.
Yeah, absolutely. Nature's Prophet making an early rotation mid. That 10-minute catapult's coming down, or is about to come down in a minute. See if he tries to put pressure on any towers at that point. Sven is kind of getting surrounded right here. He doesn't have God Strength available. Starbreaker isn't going to land. They continue to keep vision of him, remnanting out, getting some TPs in, but with that additional armor and movement speed, let's see if they can turn this fight. Split Earth going out here onto the Ember. But these right clicks from Nature's Prophet is actually going to bring the Leshrac down. And in the trees, Dawnbreaker will also fall. I mean,
Dire's courier has been
this is
killed.
interesting because I feel like this Leshrac really needs to kind of get ahead and have kind of some type of snowballing effect. And they're really finding ways to shut his game down at this point. So
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
do you think he's like playing too active? Does he need to like go farm an item? What do you think he needs to do to kind of stay focused and not keep getting picked off?
The 2 rotations he made actually turned out very poorly, and now he's very behind. I guess he will keep farming until his Bloodstone timing to participate in the next fight.
Yeah, and it looks like they recognize Leshrac's having a little bit of trouble so far. Does buy the Tome of Knowledge there, so trying to get some of that level advantage back. So dying to a leftover edict sounds like a melting to do. Yeah, I probably would do that.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Some TPs coming up here into the top lane. We still haven't really seen, advances here onto the Enigma. Solar Guardian coming in. Ice Blast lands. There's 5 heroes up here into the top lane, and they're punishing KNGI.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Chaos Knight has that armlet completed, working his way on an Echo Saber. And Leshrac happy to kind of try to get this Bloodstone out, taking this Ancient stack, but Block Roar knows.
Yeah, they
Gonna
just
try
needed
steal
to
the stack.
have 3 heroes fighting, and then the Dawnbreaker and Nature can arrive at any second.
Yes, this global presence is already just terrifying, and it's only 11 minutes into the game, so.
Not for you.
Toss Leshrac into the middle of 3 heroes. Searing Chain's gonna go out. Cold Feet actually lands into the Ice Blast. And see if he actually falls from that. Haste Rune spawning in the bottom lane. Leshrac looks like he's gonna be just fine.
Very close.
That was quite close. Unfortunately, Tiny won't be quite as lucky. He is gonna get picked off there. And Ember
Dire's top tower.
Ember definitely is getting, now that Leshrac has kind of had to retreat and go farm, Ember's been able to get some rune control here. Searing Chains doesn't go out onto the Sven. Sven kind of happy to just continue to farm in that second top net worth spot. I feel like for the side of KNGI, like this Sven is really your win condition at this point, because in terms of the top 4 net worth, he's the only one in that spot, but everything is still very close right now. We have the blink available now on Enigma and the black hole. And they actually gave him the Tumbler's Toy too, so he has 2 ways of kind of potentially getting on top of someone, but
Is under attack.
finding that opening at this point of the game might be easier said than done.
Smoke from both sides.
They found the Leshrac. Searing Chain's gonna go out into the Ice Blast. Tree and Protector ults, though, making quite the difference here. Black Hole onto the Nature's Prophet. The Cold Feet's about to land. And Chaos Knight and Sven are now showing up in this fight. This is probably the first 5v5 of the game that we've seen. We have God Strength available, but Sven is not going to be able to pop that. He's going to get kited a bit and caught out.
Unbreaker saved the time for his team to come in and kill the Leshrac.
Yeah, I think with all of this mobility on the Dawnbreaker, he's able to do a bit of kiting, and I think that's the last thing Sven wants, is to get kited. Also just kind of the control that the Sprout's able to provide on the side of Nature's Prophet. And
Yeah, and the buyback from the Dawn actually saved both Nature and CK and allowed them to turn back in.
yeah, good point, good point. I wasn't sure if, you know, they were going to look to take any towers off of winning that fight, but I guess there wasn't any, like, creep waves pushing in exactly, so they're happy to kind of back up and reset here.
Yeah, and they also got this mid tower, mid T1 really early on. So that kind of limits Radiant to the small part of the map.
They know that they're in the triangle. Treant Protector eats the gank, so Sven can get away. And Block Roar kind of taking over this part of the map. Enigma actually going Midas. What do you think about this?
Well, it's secure to kill onto Nature in top lane. I don't know. I don't know why he would.
I guess he feels like... Do you think it's because he's feeling like behind on levels?
Yeah, that could be, and also it could be that because they know that Lash is kind of underfarmed, they want to like delay the timing where they want to fight.
Oh, another scuffle happening here. Into the triangle, Solar Guardian coming out, Sven managing to find that Ancient Apparition. Ice Blast did land on the Sven. See if they have the lockdown to secure him. Searing Chains does land, Chaos Bolt. Leshrac has now showed up, but they do take down the Sven. Now they're trying to chase down this Chaos Knight. And I will say, man, these overgrowths have been very impactful, but not enough to save the Leshrac there. They will take out that Dawnbreaker. Block Roar playing an incredibly aggressive game of Dota right now. They're not really, you know, keeping off the pressure, but I think KNGI finding ways now to maybe answer a bit. Because they did manage to get the CK at least trade carries in that interaction.
Yeah, especially like in last team fight, Nature died in advance. Like they were actually fighting 4 versus 5 in a very deep spot into their tribe. Even if they had like a 5k network lead, I think Nature was like it's necessary that he was present in that team fight.
Absolutely. Nature's actually, he rushed the Aghanim Scepter.
Radiant are scanning.
Is that the leash ability, or is that... No, that's a talent. Change
Yeah, it's the root from all.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And the lower is cooldown.
Members of Block were putting some pressure here with the Treants onto this bottom tier 2. Meanwhile, a bit of a scuffle happening up here. They're catching these supports out on the side of KNGI. Dawnbreaker ult comes in trying to heal up the Chaos Knight. Ice Blast is going to land. Enigma showed up, has the black hole available, but actually doesn't use it. Looked like he might have had the potential to get on top of the Ancient Apparition and Nature's Prophet, but didn't choose to do so. Sven's here though, pops the God Strength, and now the black hole comes out. Now we see what he was waiting for. He was waiting to catch out the Ember Spirit. His carry though falls. Do they have the potential to clean up? And that's a team wipe. Enigma barely surviving there. Almost, you know, a couple of those last Maelstrom procs I thought were going to end him, but he manages to survive. So nice avalanche there from Tiny.
Yeah, it was just one hit away.
Yeah. So KNGI is certainly finding a way to stay in this game, and I like that this Enigma is kind of almost playing like this counter pusher role. I think that the Leshrac, if he was having a better game, probably would be doing the same, like hiding in the trees with his ult and like putting pressure on the towers with the Diabolic Edict. But Enigma's kind of with the Eidolons is serving that role to like keep Nature's focused on like having to respond to tower pushes instead of being able to join team fights.
Yeah, and these early CK illusions are just insta cleaned by Lashrak as well.
Yeah, they definitely have so many ways of dealing with the CK illusions. He is going for that shard nonetheless, though. That was one of the cheekiest things I've seen in a while. He just Midased and blinked out.
Radiant's bottom tower is
There was
under
like
attack.
4 heroes there.
Dire's top tower is under
Despite the tree and heal, they're putting pressure once again on this tier 2 tower. And KNGI
bottom tower has
happy to kind of play on the opposite side of the map and let that fall.
Sven just bought out his BKB and next item trying to go for Blink.
Yeah, it's interesting because he initially had like the blink queued up, but then he switched over to the BKB. So I think after seeing kind of some of these last fights, found that necessary. Tiny, focus in this Ancient Apparition. Doesn't have the burst yet to burst him down, but Leshrak actually going behind the tower, gets ice blasted, bloodstones, but not going to do anything against the anti-heal. And Blockroar continuing to chase. They have the Chaos Bolt available. Reality Rifting in the Tiny. Solar Guardian coming out. Tiny gonna blink away to safety. Meanwhile, Tree and Protector TPing out. Oh, the scan lands, but they don't manage to find him just in time. So everyone does get out except for the Leshrak there. Sven picking up that BK or that blink now.
Well, the Leshrak definitely overstepped in the last team fight, and it would have been an easy tier 2 for them. After Leshrak died, they can kind of need to retreat.
Oh, they managed to catch out the Ember Spirit with the Black Hole. Kill his courier. Ice Blast coming out here. And but not before they kill the Ember Spirit. Sven working his way to pick off the supports. Chaos Bolt coming out here into the Starbreaker. Has that heal from the Treant though. Still has BKB available. Isn't going to pop it just yet. Manages to find himself a double kill. And they're picking out Roshan. It's going to be the first Roshan of the game here. So really nice play here by KNGI. I think Enigma's been so patient to only catch the Ember Spirit in the Black Hole, which we can really see why they drafted this hero in the first place.
And knowing that Dawnbreaker kind of wasted her ulti.
Overgrowth coming out here into the back line, but CK has a BKB now of his own. Is managing to get off one of the supports. But meanwhile, KNGI will secure Roche. Put that on the Leshrak, who's been having a little bit of trouble, but looks like they are going to be able to pop Aegis immediately. Ice Blast coming out is going to land on the Leshrak. And that Aegis feels like it never even happened.
Well, at least they make sure that Blockroar size doesn't get it.
Right. I guess it's more of a denial Aegis, if anything.
Everyone just retreated and left Leshrak in the air, and like, sad.
It was interesting too, because like Sven still had the BKB. I'm not saying Sven should be the person to man up, but they were like, hey, we don't have resources. Like, sorry, buddy, you're dying now. Nature's Prophet picking up a BKB now. Two-man smoke coming out here onto the side of Blockroar. See if they can find an opening. Leshrak has a couple more seconds of respawning. They're going to put some wards up here into the enemy triangle. We have the 9-second BKB now available onto Ember. And Searing Chains actually lands on both of the supports. Ice Blast into the Solar Guardian. What a disgusting combo. Sven popping that God Strength, forced to pop the BKB this time. Does manage to get one of the supports, but that's a lot of right-click damage that the Revenant's putting out. Leshrac once again falling here. Block Roar really finding their in with these combinations. And they're going to keep the pressure up. Spawning the Treants, have the creep wave. Going to try to make their first attempt at pushing high ground. Glyph does go out.
Dire's structures are fortified.
The next creep wave arrived. Looks like they're gonna get
Radiant's
this
bottom
tower.
tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, Black Hole is up.
Yeah, we got the smoke happening. BKB and Black Hole. They do manage to avalanche the Ancient Apparition. Eidolon's doing some right clicks. I don't think they have what it takes to take him down. Instead, oh, double man, Black Hole on the Ember, on the Ancient Apparition. BKBs before the Chaos Bolt can land and manage to get that Ember in time. Very nice patience there from the Enigma. See if they can catch anyone else out. Dawnbreaker, potential target
Radiant's
next.
middle tower is under attack.
They have the Earth Spirit available, but he's going to find himself an invisibility rune.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Just about to say that Block Roar learned from the KNGI's high ground attempt last game, but
Dire's middle tower
I guess they didn't thought that Enigma would have BKB.
Oh, Dream Protector falling to Chaos Knight. And I love how patient he was, because a lot of Enigmas was like BKB, blink, and then go in. And he like only BKB the second he saw someone who could like threaten it, right? Which was that Chaos Bolt. So Chaos Knight actually by himself here, potentially trying to chip away at this bottom tower. They're pinging him out. He's getting some backup, but Tiny being a bit patient, see if they can potentially catch him. Toss back onto the high ground. BKB lands. Solar Guardian coming out. It might just be a bait. Ice Blast onto the Leshrac. Bloodstone won't be able to heal him much. And now Nature's Prophets here. But they do manage to take down Dawnbreaker. Tiny will fall here, so Sven
Nice blink
pops
off
that
by
God
the
Strength
CK.
and the BKB, does get that pick off, so both of the supports on Block Roar are out. No one has managed to find this double damage here in the bottom lane, but you know, it's just chilling
Yeah,
there.
don't have vision to that
Yeah,
room.
neither team has vision of that room, but Ember is gonna finally find that.
Nature is just trying to find somewhere to get his level 20 and the crucial talent
Radiant's top tower is
of
falling.
Sleesh.
Absolutely, such a game-changing talent. Is going for the AC. Let's hope there's not a double AC this time.
Yeah, and the part is that they won double AC and they still won the game. So they're like, we were just gonna waste
Like, we
like
can-
2k gold on
Yeah.
this.
They're like, well, when Kunkka gets ruptured and X marks out for the 5 seconds he's TPing back in, like, we have
still
AC
have the
still.
AC oral.
That was their strat. Double man smoke coming out here on the side of Block Roar. Coming into the triangle. Chaos Bolt will find the Treant Protector. He's going to get blasted down there. Sven trying to farm his way to the Silver's Edge. Does have that Shadow Blade and stash. Two more minutes before the Roche respawn timer.
And Dawnbreaker got her eggs. Basically the first item right after the arcane boots.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, especially seeing the way that they've been able to combo some of this with the Searing Chains and Ice Blast, not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Sven certainly still quite the threat. Some lines getting drawn here on the map. 5-man smoke by the side of KNGI. We have the Silver's Edge now available onto the Sven. We have Black Hole up. And Ember has the double damage. Remnant's back. They're not going to be able to catch him out just in time. He has some team members to respond, though. Tiny tosses back the Leshrac, but with that Ice Blast, he's not going to be so lucky. Overgrowth comes out trying to secure the Black Hole. With the Dawnbreaker ult, Solar Guardian coming out here. Sven BKBs is chonking down, manages to get the Ember Spirit, has the Silver's Edge away, but they have vision just in time, and that's going to be a team wipe on the side of Block Roar. 12k gold
Yeah, that's
lead.
Sentry.
Yeah, what a game-winning sentry right there. He was so close to getting out.
Yeah. They don't really have dust on anyone on the blocker side, but that Sentry just caught him last second.
Yeah, right. What's up, Peckums? How are you doing? And now with no one up on the side of KNGI, Block Roar is able to push the high ground. Glyph does come out, try to combat against Treant. All this damage that all the damage that the Treants are doing. Oh, aggressive blink here, trying to get onto the Leshrac again. Ice Blast going down, forcing him back into the fountain. They do manage to take one full set of racks there. And Chaos Knight able to secure a Silver's Edge of his own. Nature's Prophet, Objective Gaming, already hitting this tier 3 on the top lane. Tiny trying to avalanche, getting some backup here by the Leshrac, but BKBs, so the split earth is not going to land. The right clicks of the Maelstrom, he's going to try to BKB out in time. They don't have Overgrowth available for another 5 seconds, so won't be able to catch him out. Meanwhile, Ember coming out here into the backline with the BKB, trying to pick off the support's Overgrowth. Hits, but he is able to Remnant and dodge it successfully. Celestial Hammer securing the kill there onto the Sven. He had BKB available, but I guess he got chain
Yeah, he
stunned.
didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't able to pop it.
Everyone but Enigma is now killed on the side of KNGI.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh man. This is looking a little bit rough for KNGI. I felt like the other games, there was just so much back and forth. You really couldn't tell. This one just seems a little bit more decided. Is there anything else you think that KNGI can kind of do to try to bring back the pace of the game?
It's really hard because for KNJ's draft, they really need to like hold on to their timing, whereas Sven has like Blink, BKB, and then the next item, which is Shadowblade, and then Bloodthorn, but then like they didn't really like catch it, and then it's easier for like the Bloodthorn side to like snowball and then like take their advantage of what they have. Yeah, so I think like Sven kind of missed his timing already, and I think it would really be hard to come back into this game.
Yeah, Sven really did seem like KNGI's win condition, and just based on the fact that Leshrac got shut down so much early game. Well, let's continue to watch and see what happens with one final set of racks here on the high ground. 3-man smoke coming out here onto the side of Block Roar. I don't think they're going to get any takers into the triangle. And the next Roshan is about to spawn in about 30 seconds, so. And what is up with these double damages this game? Because there is another double damage in the river.
That nobody seems to
No one ever sees them, but, you know, they're there. Ember's finally making his way down there. He'll spot it just in time. 5-man smoke coming out here on the side of KNGI. And it actually breaks. They use the dust. They see the Ancient Apparition. Pops his Aeon Disc. The Ice Blast, both the Enigma and the Treant Protector.
He was actually able to survive after breaking the smoke and overgrowth.
That Aeon Disc really coming. And meanwhile, like the rest of KNGI tried to get on the back line. Were unsuccessful. Sven falling, DCing, and GG is going to get called, so.
Well,
Block Roar
congrats,
taking
Block
that
Roar
series. Wow.
and TD12 champion.
Yeah. So. Well, there you guys have it. That was a really exciting series. I feel like the two games leading up to this final game was a little bit more exciting, a little bit more back and forth. But you know, I think that like Black Roar kind of found their stride. They found ways to draft against KNGI and you know, get the opening there. So, GG, well played on both teams. Any last thoughts, Zoe, before we hop off?
Well, it was the series was really fun to watch, and I think that we wanted to see some revenge from KNGI after losing last time semifinals against Black Roar. But well, Black Roar won again, I guess.
There's always a, you know, third time's the charm. Okay, KNGI, that's what
Mhm.
we're asking you. Like, just keep your heads down and put up a good fight if we get the opportunity to cast these two teams again. So,
Mhm.
all right, I am gonna hop off Discord. I will catch you later. Thank you again for co-casting.
Thank you.
All right, guys. I hope you have a good rest of your Sunday. That's gonna be it for me. If you're not already in my socials, I usually post when I stream then. Thank you, Pat. Thanks for hanging out, and I hope your Assassin's Creed goes well. So, yeah, it's been a long time no see, Peckhams. I'm sorry, I don't know if I responded to this comment or not, or if you're even still in chat. But thank you for hanging out with me and watching my cast, everyone. So, this was super fun, and I will catch y'all next time. Have a good one.